Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by Drew Estate. Come experience the rebirth of cigars at www.drewestate.com and download the free Drew Diplomat smartphone app today to discover nearby retailers, RSVP to special events, redeem points to win exclusive Drew Estate merchandise, and much, much more.
Mistake, but I'm having too much fun to wait. Flag her down when she comes back by. That one's yours and this one's mine. Bring another round. 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 Bring another round.
Here's the suckers.
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Coming to you live once again from the corner of No Hope, it's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. Tonight, the boys check out one of cinema's most iconic leading men in a film directed by the lead singer of Limp Bizkit. Wait a minute, let me check my notes. Yeah, that is right. Yep. Well, shit, this thing actually does exist. It's the 2019 John Travolta thriller, The Fanatic. And obviously our favorite crew of lovable numbnuts are going to need some help getting through this movie, so they'll be drinking pint after pint of the 35K stout from Against The Grain Brewery, paired with the exceptional Rose of Sharon Desert Rose cigar from Southern Draw. Wait a minute, my notes also say that Travolta wears a mullet wig in this thing. What the fuck is going on here? Anywho, sit back, folks, light 'em up, and enjoy the show. A mullet wig. That's not quite as impressive as the dreadlocks wig he wore in that L. Ron Hubbard, whatever it was, movie that lasted forever and... never mind.
Well, boys, we talked a bit about fandom in the world of cigars on our last show. Yeah. When chatting with Pete Johnson of Tatuaje. It was a good talk, huh?
Yeah, it was a very good talk.
We've gotten a lot of good feedback
really cool
on that conversation with Pete. And our film tonight certainly takes a deep, deep dive into the world of celebrities and their fans. So when I was reading the latest entertainment news last week over a bowl of oatmeal and a giant mug of coffee, maybe some bourbon. This headline caught my attention immediately, and you'll understand why. You thought the celebrity in tonight's movie treats his fans poorly. Check this shit out. Pete Davidson, this is the headline, forces his fans to sign a non-disclosure agreement for a whopping $1 million before his stand-up shows. You guys know who Pete Davidson is?
Yeah, he's that little scuzz bucket from Saturday Night Live.
He is indeed. Well, here's the gist of what's going on here, according to the Daily Mail. 26-year-old Saturday Night Live cast member and stand-up comic Pete Davidson has reportedly been requiring attendees to risk bankruptcy with a $1 million non-disclosure agreement before his stand-up shows, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. The move is part of a recent wave of comics taking extraordinary measures to prevent their acts from leaking. According to a Facebook post by a ticket holder and later confirmed, Pete's team sent out an email only hours before the show informing audience members they would need to sign the agreement in order to be let in. Ticket holders had previously been told they'd have to place their cell phones and smartwatches in locked pouches before the show started, and that phones, cameras, and any other recording devices were prohibited. The practice of locking or confiscating mobile phones has increased in recent years. It has become easier than ever for audience members to post jokes early on social media. I kind of understand that. According to the attached documents, attendees, quote, shall not give any interviews, offer any opinions or critiques, or otherwise participate by any means or in any form whatsoever, including but not limited to blogs, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any other social networking or websites whether now existing or hereafter created in the future, in the disclosure of any confidential information. Any attendee who broke any of these rules would be, so basically if you walked out and said anything about it, even to a stranger on the street, would be required to pay Pete $1 million under the terms of the NDA. Though they're often used as a means of saving jokes till they can be marketed in a film special, Pete's documents go a step further by not allowing his fans to even
say whether they liked
opinion on the quality of the material. You don't say the jokes themselves. You just, if you didn't like them, you can't say that. So here's my beef with this situation and this particular asshole. He ain't a high-profile comedian. I can see Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Seinfeld, any of the top dogs of comedy wanting to confiscate phones and keep their material fresh. I get that. They want to workshop it without a million cell phones capturing it. That's how you hone your craft, hone your set.
Yes.
I get that. But this goofball ain't Eddie Murphy.
No.
He's not even close. I've seen some of his stand-up, or actually on Sirius, I listened to some of the stand-up radio, comedy radio. He sucks. He's just as bad in stand-up as he is on Saturday Night Live. This guy's best known for somehow getting in the goodie bags of chicks like Kate Beckinsale, Ariana Grande. Now apparently he's he's dating. I shouldn't have said banging. He's dating Cindy Crawford's 18-year-old lookalike daughter.
God, gross.
But he is not an elite comic talent. He's terrible. And to have the nerve to not only confiscate cameras, but order people to not talk about it or face losing their homes, their livelihoods. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? To me, it comes across as a perfect mixture of unearned ego. He hasn't earned the right to do this shit by a long shot. And a total lack of confidence in his act. To me, it screams, I have no confidence in my set. These people are going to go out and shit on it. And I'm going to not only shut him down from Facebook, I'm going to shut him down from going to the coffee shop afterwards and talk about it in public. Fuck this dude. Am I
right? Pete, stop sucking and you won't care about it whether people post it on Facebook. I understand it. When we went and watched Pussifer in concert, and Maynard came out after the show, and he was like, I understand that everybody wants to get memorabilia from tonight, and you got pictures and you got videos. And he goes, the only thing that I would say that this is only our second show in the entire tour, and just imagine the surprise. And I'll go ahead and say it. They brought out an entire wrestling ring with luchadors, and they put on luchador shows like every third song. It was so damn cool. And he was like, imagine your surprise tonight
if you didn't see it on YouTube.
He was like, so don't spoil the surprise down the road. He was like, that's all I'm going to ask you to do.
At some point in the concert, did he say this song, bring out your phones? Because a lot of those guys will do that on concert.
Yeah.
They'll be like, put your phones away, but then they'll be like, this song, bring those phones out.
And you're going to want to record this.
Here's your opportunity.
And one more thing, and I'll just let it rest. I don't mind people wanting to go through this extreme, but you tell your ticket holders before they buy their tickets.
A few hours beforehand.
Tell them before they make that purchase.
Correct.
And then,
they did have the opportunity to get refunds if they weren't up for the...
I would totally refund it. I'll be like, if you're this fucking insecure about your show,
well, I think he's just trying to stir up controversy. Like, oh my God, this show's going to be amazing. And
I got the exact opposite. This show's going to suck, and he doesn't want me talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what
Who doesn't want people to talk about an amazing thing?
Of course, I watch Saturday Night Live often, so I know how
he's bad.
But once again,
I do too.
I think it falls within that category. It's like, probably his own, managers and whatnot are like, your show sucks.
Yeah.
But here's how we can make your sucky show make people think it's really good.
That was my first impression.
Why don't you go get a couple more neck tattoos and, it'll be cool.
It was like that whole Seth Rogen North Korea movie. This movie's a piece of shit. How do we really get some... How do we make this turd into something? Well, we've got this, this email leak, and we'll play that into some kind of... the movie was horrible.
Yeah.
So that was... That's my first...
I'm not impressed with Pete. Sorry.
No, horrible. You know who else has a lot of fans, boys?
Who?
Devout fans. These people are...
Devout or devout?
I said devout. Why'd you say devout?
Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Belle Biv Devote? Great band. Never trust a big butt and a smile, Yaks. It'll get you every time.
Yeah. It's poison.
Peloton.
Peloton?
The spin bike from home phenomenon.
Okay.
You boys saw the commercial?
You're going to beef about
Yes.
Peloton? What?
You watched the commercial?
What?
The commercial I texted you to watch before the show?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just learning all. No spoilers, okay?
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I'm out. I'm leaving the studio for a while.
Actually, let's do a TNCC. This isn't our first time. Brief break for technical difficulties. We'll be right back. We're back, folks. Hey, funny thing, during that technical break to get some equipment squared away, Tut, you remembered that you saw the commercial.
I totally remembered. I remembered that I seen your commercial.
The commercial, the holiday commercial, titled "The Gift That Gives Back," shows a woman receiving a Peloton bike. It's the spin bike you use at home with you video in to classes, and people are just... It's huge.
Yeah. There's a lot of devoted fans. You're right.
Shows a woman receiving a Peloton bike from her husband on Christmas morning. She then documents her year-long fitness journey in selfie videos before compiling those video clips into a thank you vid for her husband, Christmas morning. Twitter users, you know those guys and gals, immediately branded the commercial sexist, misogynistic, and cringeworthy, which I think is where Tut's going with this. They charge that it encourages negative stereotypes by implying that a husband will get a more attractive wife in return for giving her the exercise bike. They also claim she was clearly an abused wife, scared of her husband based solely on her kind of awkward facial expressions that she used throughout the thing.
That was their SOS.
Get this. Peloton Interactive Inc., their stock following this commercial airing went down 9.12% the Tuesday after it aired, erasing nearly $942 million from the company's market value. Analysts credited the drop to social media backlash over its holiday commercial.
Thank you, marketing team.
And get this. The poor actor who plays the husband says his friends now call him a symbol of the patriarchy, and he now fears for his future as an elementary school teacher. He's just a commercial actor. He's got a real job. Get this. He told Psychology Today, and I quote, "I currently sit here hoping that I'll be able to continue auditioning for commercials without any taint, and that if my students happen to find the commercial and recognize me, they won't think about me any different than they already know me." He was forced to make a statement. What the fuck is going on in the world? Well, before you opine in, Tut, I'm going to say this. I saw the commercial when it was on TV, and then I watched it once I heard, people were upset about it, very upset. When I watched it, never once did I see a dude sublimity saying, "Hey, babe, I think you need to lose a few pounds. Here's a Peloton." I took it as it's an expensive luxury item. It's over $2,000 for this bike, plus a pretty hefty monthly fee, I think, to subscribe to the videos and the daily classes. I took it. He bought it for her. Perhaps she'd been wanting it and on the fence. Perhaps, she was going to purchase it for herself, but it's a lot of money. And he just did something nice for her by getting it for her. That's all I took it was. And she enjoyed it, and she got into it, and she was like, "Thanks, babe, and this is my way." I never in a million years, maybe I'm just completely out of touch, but I never in a million years thought she was an abused woman peddling for her life. So her husband,
ridiculous.
Her husband's over there, dangling a fucking hot dog in front of her on the Peloton. I never got that at all. But apparently a million other people did enough they almost lost $1 billion on this shit. Tut, you.
Right, because I've seen the commercial in the wild.
Right.
And the first time I saw it, I was like, well, that's going to backfire. Because the first thing that comes up is like, oh, cool. The guy got his wife an exercise bike, basically saying, "You fat chick, get on this thing now." That's the way it was going to take.
Did you
That's
assume,
the way it was
like me,
do
it was a...
Dude, I've been in marketing for 13 years.
That's true.
I've run my own advertising agency. I've run up and I've bumped up against this type of stuff. Regardless of what you think, it's what the actual public thinks and how they're going to react.
Oh, we're not the actual public?
You're not enough of it because they lost $900 million. What did you say, 9 million or 900 million?
Yeah, 9.5.
Yeah. Yeah, your opinion doesn't matter unless you can come up with $9.5 million.
The chick, meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds cast her in a spoof for his gin company because they get, hey, you're away from your husband now. You can have a drink. You're horrible. The guy's like in hiding, the poor damn Canadian actor. And this chick flat out said, you know what? I think a lot of this stems from my facial expressions. So because you're a bad actress and just kind of was awkward in this commercial, we didn't need to be.
I'm sorry.
Your co-star's on the run.
Unless that was a marketing intern who put this spot together, and there was a marketing VP who's like a 30-year-old, hot shot. They should have known better than this.
You think if it was
they should have never even cleared corporate.
You think if it was too chunky, a man and a wife, they're both a little heavy set, and the wife got it for the husband, and he was, this kind of lovable, chunky guy, and he's like, babe, thank you. I want to be around for you and the kids for years. I bet it would have been fine.
It would have been totally fine. And if you would have shown the husband and wife getting it together as a joint person or joint purchase and both working on it at the same time to better their life, it would have been totally fine too.
Actually, that would have been a better commercial.
I think probably
two fat couples.
It absolutely would.
I really just think they should do another commercial where it's basically like that, except it's like, you just hear them in the background. Why don't you put that cheeseburger down? Get on the bike.
Or do a follow-up with the teacher actor, but now with a beer gut, and it's like 10 years later, and he's just shooting Jack Daniels, crying because his fine wife left him after. I mean, come on. Stop taking this shit
The commercial
too
is still up on YouTube on the Peloton YouTube channel. They didn't remove it from there.
Of course, they probably played a good penny for it. I'm just Twitter warriors. Calm the fuck down.
It's interesting seeing Tut as a marketing man's perspective. I just couldn't wrap my head around the uproar. It just seemed like a nice thing.
It's the world we're living in today.
My wife, my insignificant other, buys me.
But it also goes back. It also goes back to the 70s. When they would have commercials where, "Hey, husbands, get your wife the vacuum cleaner." The feminist movement back then was just all over the place.
I guess you know what? Maybe I'm living in my own little bubble, and I'm like, you know what? Getting in shape is expensive. Whether it's joining a quality gym or getting some home equipment, and you know what?
Eating all of that delicious salad.
A spouse doing that for their spouse. I just took it as he knew she wanted it, and it's expensive, and it's like, hey.
I know one time, speaking of the vacuum cleaner, my wife asked for a vacuum cleaner for Christmas, and I was, "Are you sure? Are you absolutely? I don't want to be. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy."
Were you that guy?
No, and actually, I do most of the vacuum anyway because I don't mind vacuuming.
Nice save.
Nice.
Well, my wife does a lot of the cleaning. I just do the vacuuming.
Oh, you do it because you don't mind it? That's why she doesn't have to do it? Because you don't. If you minded, she would have to do it. Now you're in the hot seat.
Look,
now the Twitter warriors are coming after you.
I can't. I'm going to be on. Can you dial up psychology today? I want an interview.
I need to give a statement. Don't you mansplain vacuuming to me.
Is Tut in trouble? Is he going to need a good lawyer?
When she opened the vacuum, did you show her how the different extensions worked and whatnot?
No, she actually shows me.
Oh, you make her do it.
Pretty much.
She can burn off some calories doing that.
Get that forearm going.
Fandom is crazy. Whether it's a World of Cigars, spin bikes.
People just need to calm down.
Stand-up Canadians.
Calm down.
We talk about that a lot. But I thought these were two examples of passionate... Actually, the Peloton... They weren't passionate fans. Those are just people that
Twitter warriors.
Look to get angry about stuff.
Yeah.
And now this poor Canadian commercial actor's in hiding in a Motel 6, like peeking out the windows.
No, he's not. It's just an ulterior motive for him to get more public. People are going to give him pity commercial spots. I mean, it's all a plan.
You're going Alex Jones on this one?
It's all a plan. He knew it from the start.
He's a crisis actor. I'm not going back to that. I can't. We got one more show to do this year. I can't lose my voice.
It's all there. It's on the internet. Google it. It's right there on YouTube. They don't want you to know about it.
If you look up from your Peloton bike, there's chemtrails in the sky coming straight from Peloton headquarters.
Look,
they're dropping radiated dust.
You can watch the video while you're on the Peloton bike. It's got a TV.
Buy my amino acid drink. It's going to keep you safe from the Peloton chemtrails. Michelle Obama's penis has come nowhere near my aminos as far as I know. There was a break-in 3 weeks ago. Something stirred him up. It was big. I don't know what it was. We're getting to the bottom of it. Infowars.com, promo code TNCC20. Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, episode 107. Hey! No chemtrails in here, just cigar smoke. We're safe. And thanks for joining us. Our fans are simply the best.
They are.
Whether you're a fan of us on iTunes, you subscribe, or our Facebook page, or Instagram. Our YouTube numbers are
blowing up.
Granted, half the guys' names we can't pronounce.
It's all right.
We're big with ISIS. We're huge with ISIS, which isn't what we want, but hey. I didn't think they're allowed to smoke, are they? Oh, you get your head chopped off.
I think you do, yeah.
Get your head chopped off for smoking.
No, I think they can smoke. That's
Okay,
that's one of the things they can do.
Oh.
Oh, man, aren't we a bunch of ignorant people?
That explains some things. The TNCC is we're anti-ISIS. I should make that very, very clear. We are down to our last 2 episodes of the year, this one included. My, how time flies when you're drunk all the time.
Yes.
But
correct.
we're actually recording this show 3 days from now. We've got a show at Romocraft headquarters in Austin. It's going to be quite a week for us, for our livers. Help us. Shut up. In all seriousness, I was hoping to get a few more shows in this year. There's a bunch of really great new cigars out there I wanted to give some little exposure to. But thanks to Tut, we got this show and the next one. I mean, sorry, Tut. Due to unforeseen circumstances beyond our control.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We can edit out that.
Yeah, whatever.
It's your fault.
I was at home crying on my bed.
Tut was sick. He had school finals. Just as you listeners know, Tut's back in school.
Yeah,
we think we're looking at straight A's.
We're thinking under 4.0. One more grade to report in.
There we
Nice.
With the most important, I got an A in math.
go. If you get those straight A's, we're taking you to Chili's for some Long Islands.
Really? All
Yeah.
right. That
Well,
sounds...
one Long Island.
I think on Wednesday, that's when they're on special.
When you graduate, you get all the Long Islands you want,
Oh, okay.
but not Chili's from Applebee's.
Damn it.
Sorry. We are just terrible. All of a sudden, the Instagram numbers dropping. Facebook numbers dropping. We got a big show tonight, guys. We're going to do 2 cigars, which I swore we would never do again, but we're only going to review the first cigar.
When did he say? He said that like at last episode, we're never going to do this again,
Right.
and we're doing it this way.
Well, the second cigar has a very good story behind it, and I knew we'd probably burn through the first cigar fairly quickly. So we're just going to introduce and talk about the second cigar, but we're not going to review it. We're not going to rate it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because it does have a special story and it's kind of a special circumstance, but I want to give it, because it's got a special story, I want to give it some exposure. It's by the same manufacturer as our first cigar, and I don't know about you guys, but I want to smoke a cigar, so let's get right to it.
Let's get into
Boy,
it.
what do we do every episode?
we smoke a fine premium cigar, or 2.
Hopefully fine.
Or
It's premium. We'll be the judge if it's fine or not.
or 2 cigars.
Yes, or 2 cigars. And what do we do with along with those smoking of cigars?
We drink a delicious,
Hopefully.
craft beer,
Correct.
and watch a fine,
Hopefully.
well put together film.
Ideally, a film. A film.
It's a video.
Why are all my adjectives being shut down? Everything is so. This is going to be fantastic.
Just trying to keep it real.
I'm going to need a non-disclosure agreement.
All our listeners have to sign an NDA. The first cigar tonight, guys. I see you eyeing it and just feel
launching into it.
Feel that wrapper. Let me know what you guys get on the cold draw of this. I got a lot of sweetness, a really nice sweetness, not raisiny, Tut.
No, I got a little bit of honey tea.
Honey tea with honey in it, like a breakfast tea, English black breakfast tea.
Chamomile.
Okay, well, that's pretty close. That's pretty close, yeah.
It is the Rose of Sharon Desert Rose by Southern Draw Cigars. That name should ring.
It's Sting, Desert Rose.
Oh, that was your Sting?
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, we've definitely been stung. It's a 5.5 by 52 Bellicoso Fino. The wrapper is Ecuadorian Claro. Heard it both ways. Binder's Nicaraguan. The filler is Honduras and Dominican Republic. I'm going to say price point till later, of course. This should be very interesting opt for that alone. Tut's coffee. The original Rose of Sharon, which we reviewed way back on our Pretty in Pink episode 52.
Whoa.
Over half. We're on 107. That was forever ago. Can you believe that? It seems like it was just yesterday.
It was.
It was a huge hit with us. It is by far the Southern Draw cigar I smoke more than any other.
Yes.
I know, Tut, you smoke a ton of their blends, but I go back to the Rose a lot. So much so, we liked it that we named it our top cigar. Number 1 cigar of 2017. Cigar of the year.
Numero uno.
We love the yin and the yang of the original Rose of Sharon. That woodsiness and the vanilla latte creamy coffee note danced expertly with just the right amount of pepper on the nose. Retrohaling with the original Rose Sharon is a must. It was just super smooth, complex, which this was one of the first Connecticut cigars, Rose Sharon, that was doing something different. Now there's it just every year more and more, different styles of Connecticut's are come out. Southern Draw's boss lady, Sharon Holt, is on record as stating that the Desert Rose has a heartier wrapper and is a more robust version of our original blend. And she should know the cigar is named after her. Y'all excited to light this mofo up?
Already have.
Yeah.
What do you think of when you think robust? Stronger? Fuller?
I tend to think
an
stronger.
overwhelming, more strong impression.
Right.
Which I had a great impression of the original, so this should be even better by that logic.
I don't know. I kind of tend to.
What does the word robust mean to you, Tut?
I guess robust really means to me
College
a little
boy?
bit more full-bodied, slightly stronger. Though there's not there can be difference between full-flavored and full strength. I really think that
I'll be shocked if it's full flavor, full strength.
no, there's not. Why would you want to do that to the Rose? The Rose's subtlety was what really could have stood out to me.
Well, just upon initial light up, that retro hail is still delicious. I am getting, on the retro hail alone, a little slight white pepper, but it's got a little bit of Nicaraguan mineral on that retro hail.
I definitely get you a little bit of that white pepper on there.
And I am getting just a really nice woodsiness, which was also present on the original Rose of Sharon. A really nice woodsiness. I'm
across the palate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had gotten just slight like hay and cedar on the initial cold draw, and a little bit of that sweetness. I wouldn't call it.
Did you get the tea with honey?
I don't know about that.
Shame, guys. Shame you didn't get the chamomile.
Woodsiness, and you know what? I'm not getting the vanilla that I got from the original Rose on the palate, but I think that may have developed about halfway in, if I remember right, on that original. Because I've smoked quite a few of the. They also released with the Rose since that original Lancero. Mm-hmm. Which I'm still going to give the original Rose the upper hand against the Lancero.
Agreed.
And they also released, I believe, a Perfecto with their Ignite series, which we're going to talk about a little bit later.
I'm still a fan of that original release.
I mean, the original's always been the home run.
I like this, and it's funny that y'all don't get it because I do get tea across the palate as well. I think it's coming in off of the brightness of that woodsiness. And then I think it's going right.
I was going to say I'm not getting the
well.
vanilla, but there's that coffee that was there. But you know what? That could easily potato a breakfast, an English black tea and coffee are very similar. Yeah. It's very good, very very good so far. And we just lit up. You with us?
I am.
Okay, tell us about this beer.
And while he's telling us about this beer, can you get me another one of these?
That's a good sign.
Mighty fine beers.
Against the Grain Brewing.
Okay.
This is their 35K stout. It is a milk stout.
I did this for Tut.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
December.
you.
We're doing all these IPAs and blondes and pilsners with stout weather. Which, by the way, Tut and I are both wearing T-shirts tonight because it was like 80 fucking 4 degrees outside. He's got the Santa hat on and a T-shirt. That's where we're living. Central Texas. It's a bullshit.
Well, and this is definitely for Christmas. Against the Grain was started in 2011 by 4 gentlemen by the names of Jerry Nagy, Sam Cruz, Adam Walton, and Andrew Ott. They found themselves working for other breweries in the Louisville, Kentucky area.
Okay.
And they just felt that they could do things differently or wanted to do things differently.
Better.
So, well, you can't say necessarily they just weren't inspired by the other breweries.
Gotcha.
So they wanted to do something that fit.
I didn't mean to put words in their mouth.
Aesthetic way. So they came out and started, and in 2015 they needed to grow, and originally it was just a brew pub.
Oh, so that's where they started, brew pub. Okay.
And then they actually in 2015 expanded to an actual production facility.
Okay.
For their brewery, or to move their brewing operation to be able to create more. And this one here, like I said, it is the 35K Stout. It is ideal for Christmas, even on the can here. In their own words, we're putting in a swimming pool. And if there's enough left over, we're going to fly y'all down here to help us dedicate it. Which is from, of course, one of the best Christmas movies.
The best Christmas movie.
It is the best.
Christmas
The
Vacation.
best.
It's the best Christmas movie of all time.
I agree.
And don't you dare come at me with that. What about Die Hard? You're just trying to get attention, asshole.
And in their own description, this is not your typical Jelly of the Month Club beer.
I could have left without
It was enough with the.
It's just going to keep
enough
going.
already. Enough already.
Dark
with
roasted
Griswold hops. All right.
Yeah.
Your shitter will not be full with this beer.
No, if that was the one, we'd be drinking the brown note.
We know Tuttle likes his browns.
Yeah.
Dark roasted malt, bittersweet cocoa, and coffee flavor and aroma burst from this pitch black milk stout. The full-bodied and sweetness are derived from the addition of lactose, aka milk sugar, which is not fermentable by beer. A healthy dose of English Kent Goldings hops, that's a mouthful, provides a counterpoint to this ale's rich and complex maltiness.
I am not, as you boys know, a stout fan, which sucks for me to go to Roma Craft here in a few days. But I'm actually enjoying this.
Thank you.
I wore my Hop Flag shirt today because I was going to drink one of these and then go to the whatever leftover. We got some old IPAs in the fridge. I was going to
And you can totally do that.
But you know what? I wanted a second one. It's very enjoyable.
It is.
The coffee. I think those milk sugars might tone down a lot of what I usually don't like about stouts.
Yes.
It's got a really
does
smooth swallow.
Yeah. It's got great mouthfeel.
It's got really good mouthfeel. I'm getting just a really perfect mix of coffee.
Still got some maltiness kicking through.
It's got some maltiness. I am getting a little bitterness, which that's really helping it for me.
I don't know, like just a.
And
but most I don't get any, so it's just that little bit in there.
Well, and for its stats, it is 7% ABV and only 26 IBUs,
which is still something in a world of nothing in stouts. And 7% is fairly low for a decent stout. I mean,
I have been in a stout craze.
Sitting out in my shorts on the deck, putting up the Christmas lights.
Even going to the grocery store, they didn't even have Guinness this time I went through there. I'm like, normally a grocery store will have Guinness. They didn't even have that. All of it's freaking New England Pale Ale, American Pale Ale, Indian Pale Ale, Vietnamese sideways, whatever Pale Ale. And I'm just like, God, man.
I want a Vietnamese stout.
Which are very good. They're underrated.
No arguments here. Or for our listeners, we like Syrian stouts too. Excellent. Our YouTube fans.
Come now. They're enjoying the show.
They're nice enough to subscribe. I just want to 100% anti-jihadists. Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Am I right? We hate those guys.
We do. I'm sorry. We do.
And
you know what? I'm not sorry.
And if we find out any of you new YouTube subscribers are jihadists, we're gonna have a tribunal where we decide whether to kick you out or not. You
Also,
won't be invited to it. It's just
Also, before reviewing, you'll need to fill out the non-disclosure agreement.
actually we should make all our listeners fill that out. I don't need people knowing what we're doing in here. It's the exact opposite of what a podcast is.
And the
for.
show is filmed live in New Jersey.
Yes, New Jersey.
Don't you know?
It is a very. I don't see how you could be possibly offended by this stout. It's smooth.
It's good. It's good beer. If you like beer, you like this stout. That's it.
There is no.
And they don't lie about saying it's pitch black. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the
I
edge
love
of the
it,
glass. I mean, I'm not getting any light.
No.
That head's a nice chocolatey froth. I mean, it's just really good.
Merry Christmas, Tut. This is
Thank you.
This is your present.
Thank you. And it's a good present. That's enough for me.
And honestly, as far as tying it, we try to tie the beer, the cigar, and everything. Tut's been working hard.
Christmas beer.
Tut's been working hard at school, and he's been sick. I'm like, you know what? I looked at the stouts. It's Christmas stout. Boom, Christmas time. He wore his Christmas hat. Everything works out.
Yeah.
Till we get to the movie.
Speaking of a movie,
There is another cigar, which we've got a while till we get to that one. But
I was about to say, don't we have something kind of going on tonight?
yes, we do, Tut. And unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, I'm going to have to. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, guess what?
Look at that.
We got the technical things fixed, crazy electronics, and in the meantime, all these cool prizes appeared.
Man.
We have the giveaway of all giveaways going on tonight, courtesy of our friends at Southern Draw, the whole family. There's going to be several ways for you to win on this show.
Oh, let's do it.
A lot of it will be described when we post this episode on Facebook and on Instagram. You're going to get some directions.
Okay. Yeah.
There's T-shirts.
T-shirts.
There's beanies.
Beanies, both pink and black.
Yeah, you get the Black Ignite,
Yes.
which is their line that they donate to specific charities. A lot of the military, the SEALs, I think, is their big one they're doing helping this year, the Navy SEALs charity.
Very cool.
Also, a pink Southern Draw logo
Real men wear pink.
for
I
the
don't know
ladies,
why I can't.
for the ladies or the men who like. I wear a lot of pink. You guys know that.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not afraid.
I'm kind of surprised Cody's not wearing one of those.
I'm not afraid. You want to wear this tonight instead? That
No.
way, a listener or a viewer could get a beanie that was actually worn by Yak Boy on the show.
Sweated in by. It's going up.
That's going up in value right now if you put this on.
if there was only some way we could call them fanatical.
Fanatical. You're going to get some
By the
beanie.
way, those are toboggans.
I thought a toboggan had the little ball on top.
Yeah, I think to have a toboggan, you have
Ooh,
to.
it has to have the ball.
You have to have a ball on hat.
So
on
I'm
the top
wearing a
hat.
toboggan.
You're wearing a Santa hat.
Oh, okay.
Beanies,
Santa
toboggans. We've got these. There's also an opportunity to win.
Toboggan.
Santa toboggan.
There's also an opportunity to win some T-shirts with the Ignite logo on back. The
Yep.
new T-shirts have all the different cigar lines on the back,
Yes,
including
great,
the Pink Rose of Sharon, which certainly gets a lot of airplay here with us. There's coasters, there's stickers which we can throw in there. So to win those, there's going to be directions.
By the way, you need. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You need to look on YouTube because you got this big ass thermos that's pretty cool. You got this ashtray that's just all kinds of glorious. I mean, these are some
Arctic
good looking
with
stuff.
the Southern Draw logo.
This is
Heck
made
yeah,
from
man.
a quick draw petite Corona box. Check this out. You got a drawer. If you're listening to us on iTunes, kick it over to YouTube. Watch this. You got just look at the varnish on that thing.
It's nice.
My God, it's glossy. You open this drawer, you put in your cutter, your lighter, your scissors. It's got this great sheen on here. This is going to look great wherever you smoke. This bad Oscar, 64 ounces. Arctic is the brand. When we showed it earlier, it was RTIC, and I kept saying that, and he's like, I think it's Arctic, Cade. Look at this thing. You can put a 64-ounce thing of Old English malt liquor in here. It's going to stay cold the entire time you're out at the deer lease.
Or
Of course, that's what you would do.
anything that you wanted to keep cold.
Anything you want to keep cold, Cade. It's got the Southern Draw logo on here. This thing is badass.
Non-malt liquor related.
I might fill this up tonight with stouts and just drink it on the show, and then
And
it'll be worth more.
more.
I might do it. No, we'll keep this one pristine for you, I promise. Well, I don't promise.
You got yak sweat in a beanie. You got kids spit in a thermos.
There's someone, whoever gets is going to open it, like whiskey's going to dribble out. It's worth more. Well, here's the deal. To get some T-shirts and beanies, there's going to be directions when we post this episode on our Facebook page, which you have to subscribe to, on our Instagram post, which you have to follow us on Instagram, And you have to also follow us on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
For Tut, I'm going to go ahead and say you have to follow us on Twitter, but we really don't tweet that much.
do anything.
So you know what? Those three. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram,
Yes.
and YouTube.
Yes.
We're going to tell you how to win these things. Here's the thing. T-shirts and beanies, that is.
Okay.
To win this bad...
The thermos.
Holtz, forgive me. This bad motherfucker. It's awesome.
Yes, it
to
is.
win this and the ashtray.
Yes.
Look, it's even got little gold
I
corners.
know. The details are nice.
A lot of nice little touches to this thing.
Uh-huh.
You are going to have to listen to this whole show because I'm going to give you 2 trivia questions tonight.
Somewhere in the show.
You're going to get the trivia questions. They're not going to be hard. We're not assholes. But you must, upon listening to the show, answer those and send the answers either to us via direct message on Facebook or Instagram.
Yes.
Send us a message saying your trivia answers and put your name in the hat. That will put your name in the hat to win this ashtray.
Okay.
It's going to cost us a fortune to ship to somebody.
Yeah.
God. Or this thing.
Okay. So let me see if I got this straight. In order to win the T-shirts and the beanie, you subscribe to us on Facebook. Give us a comment there.
I was going to put it in the post, but I'll go ahead and do it now, Tut. Thanks for pushing me in a corner, and I'm ready for it. No. Basically, when this posts on Facebook and Instagram, you're going to leave us a comment. The comment I'm looking for is this. What is your favorite Southern Draw cigar and why? I'm going to be paying more attention to the why.
Yeah.
I like smoking this cigar because the first time I had it was this moment with my buddies or this.
Yeah.
I like this cigar because every time I go to my local tobacco shop and I pull it out, I know I'm going to get... I'm kind of telling these people what to write, aren't I? This is exactly what I'm looking for. No. To win a lot of these prizes, that's what we're going to look for post. I want to see your Southern Draw love. I want to see what you guys are smoking and why you're smoking it.
Yeah.
Quick Draw, Firethorn, Kudzu, Cedrus. Why do you go for that cigar specifically? Tell us why.
Okay.
And we're going to randomly go through there, and as a unit, we're going to pick out some winners. But these two are big guys here. You got to answer the hidden trivia in tonight's show and send us a direct message.
Okay. And in order to win, you need to sign an NDA saying that you will not disclose any of the
Tuesday Night Cigar Club, not regulated by the FDA. All sales final.
That's pretty dang cool, man. I was excited.
It is. You sure you don't want to wear the pink beanie?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well,
I've been wearing this all week. It's great.
I'm just going to leave. Well, I can guarantee you this. These will smell like the corner of no hope when you get it.
We're so sorry.
They haven't been worn. They haven't been drank out of, but they are going to smell like beautiful Southern Draw cigars.
Speaking
of which, so that kind of gets that out there.
Okay.
When this episode drops, which is when you'll be hearing this, everything will be made clear.
Yeah.
I'll reiterate the directions, and we'll go from there. How are you guys enjoying tonight's Desert Rose?
I am digging it. It is a bit more robust. I remember the one thing that I like about the Rose of Sharon is that there's a complexity to it. It's a complicated cigar, but it's also a very subtle cigar. And this has a bit more of a presence to it.
I think it's more Nicaragua.
I think so too. I think that
mineral note,
the mineral,
kicked up
that mineral and that earthiness were not present in the original Rose of Sharon.
No, especially not a third of the way into the Rose of Sharon. You're correct. This definitely has a lot more of Nicaragua in it,
which is always for me a good thing. I love Nicaraguan tobacco, but it still has that coffee tea woodsiness on the draw. They didn't betray that for earthiness and mineral. That is still there. I'm getting a lot of the Nicaraguan mineral and earth on the nose.
Yeah.
It's kind of taken the place of that pepper. There's a little pepper upon an initial light up.
Yeah.
But whereas that was your main retrohale component in the original Rose of Sharon, I feel like the Nicaraguan components, the mineral and the earthiness, are coming through on the nose with that woodsiness and the coffee tea on the draw. It's smoking great.
I think that mineral and excuse me. That mineral and woodsiness is combining to make the tea, which is kind of neat. Because I'm still getting that tea right across the palate, and it's a really good flavor. one of the things that I do think is kind of interesting is that a lot of people try to beef up their Connecticut's and just don't really do a good job of it. I mean, they're always like, "This is going to be a strong Connecticut. This is not
your grandfather's Connecticut."
And this one actually delivers on that. I mean, if he was trying to beef up the presence a little bit, if he was trying to deliver a little bit more of that earthiness to it, I think that's where it really kind of sets itself apart from the Rose of Sharon. And it's interesting because it's interesting that it's the same line, but you have two very distinct flavor profiles for it. There are times where I really like that original Rose of Sharon because of its subtleness. I like that.
Complex but subtle.
Right. And I just it's like listening to nice, well constructed jazz, and I kind of like that. And this is giving me something different, which it's nice. It's a nice note.
It is nice. It's a really nice twist on I'm gonna say it, a favorite of mine. I'm a big fan of the Rose of Sharon. All right. Well, we're about, like you said, a third in it. I will come back, but we do have a movie to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's not all prizes and beers and cigars.
We do some work around here.
Well, I do. I had to watch this fucking thing more than once.
I'm so sorry.
Merry Christmas to me.
What's wrong?
Tonight's film.
No.
By the way, this is also a Christmas present. We've done more current films this year,
Yeah.
which you're always begging to do.
Wow, staying relevant. That's such a chore.
Maybe next
That's
year
the thing
we can do some older films.
Oh, next year it's all fucking 80s.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm not getting out of the 80s.
come on.
There's a little, and it might go with
it.
that tea thing. I'm sorry, right at the end of the first third, I'm getting a little floral component, which is really nice. Which I kind of go with like a Tazo tea kind of thing.
Yeah.
Keep my eye on that. Tonight's film, we're talking about Peloton fans. We're talking about Pete Davidson's shitty attitude towards his fans. Last episode, we talked about cigar fans.
Yeah.
Especially with the fans of small boutique like Southern Draw,
Some of the
Roma
most dedicated fans out there.
Dunbarton, Steve Saka. These fans are rabid. Rabid?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, is that right? Okay.
Oh, rabbit.
Like dogs. They salivate for whatever these guys are putting out there. Tonight's film is The Fanatic. 2019. Just hit Amazon Prime. You guys watch it for free.
Yeah,
Yes.
not to be confused with De Niro's The Fan.
No. And there's another film or two called The Fanatic. This is The Fanatic, 2019. This is the only one written and directed by Fred Durst, the lead singer for the Quote Fingers band Limp Bizkit. And co-written by some other guy named Dave Beakerman. Not the Beaker from the Muppets. I looked into that.
Damn it.
Probably would have made more sense had it been Beaker.
Executive produced by Bunsen Honeydew.
I would actually be okay with that. Really?
Yeah, the lead singer of Limp Bizkit. I don't know why I put Limp Bizkit in quotes. The band quotes Limp Bizkit directed this movie. I don't know why I said that in Wheel of Fortune guy's voice. The lead singer of Limp Bizkit. That's when Pat Sajak just like, I'm out. 40 years, I'm done.
Well, thankfully, because that's the reason why Vanna White did this last show. Well,
She did a great job, by the way.
I'm kind of glad I don't do any actual work around here because
You didn't know the Limp Bizkit guy directed this film?
No, and now it makes a lot of sense.
A lot of things probably make sense.
Especially the 5-minute Limp Bizkit commercial halfway through the film. Okay. I'm going to start the film. As always, boys, you get something crazy from the cigar, or we usually never get anything new out of the beer the more we drink.
It's better.
Fourth beer is better than the third. You're not going to believe this. The fifth beer was better than the fourth.
This beer
getting
just,
better and
I don't know
better.
what it's about it. It's just talking to me right now.
One of the top palates in the known universe, according to a website. They said that about me once.
Once.
Yeah, they're not around anymore. I took screenshots though. I'll always have it.
It's always on the net.
I'm going to be on Sunset Boulevard. Look at my phone. It's a screenshot. I was somebody. Somebody. Sir, put your pants on. No.
Google it.
Google
It's on
it.
the internet. It's out
The
there.
entire Milky Way galaxy, I was the only one that could get citrus hops.
I can't talk like that. We have another show to do this week.
That's right.
Why do you
That's
keep
right.
leading me down that wormhole?
That one's gonna be even worse.
You guys ready to talk about this?
Actually, I
movie?
got paid
I
by
am
Skip
ready to
make
talk
sure
about
that you
this
talk
movie.
that way.
I bet Skip would get a kick out of my Dallas Jones.
There's so many questions about this film.
We start things off. Let's get to it, huh? With a minute of screen time devoted to 6 production company logos that all had a hand in bringing this film to us.
Wow.
6!
6.
Lord of the Rings didn't have this many production companies help it get to our.
You remember when it was
eyes.
just one big good one? Vestron, Orion.
New World Pictures, TriStar, little unicorn shoot over the thing.
Oh, I loved it when the old United Artists one just slid across the screen.
Remember the old Warner Brothers with the red background? Oh, so simple, so effective. Not this one.
But we had 6. I mean, if they had just spun through them, I mean, you'd have like an
It was
attack. Like,
over a minute
you'd have a
of
seizure from a strobe attack.
production company logos. And then we're shown sunrise aerial shots of a large metropolitan city filled with congested traffic, homeless men and women sleeping on the streets. With a female voiceover, we'd learn later it's one of our characters, Leah, telling us this. Los Angeles. I call it the city of bullshitters. But who am I to judge? I live here too. This place will suck the life right out of you. Some people pick themselves up after getting the shit knocked out of them. Others break down like an old station wagon. We can try to put off the inevitable, but everything breaks down eventually. I think our livers can agree with that.
Yes.
Sure can. Shut up. Sorry. She goes on. Even a person's spirit can be broken down here, but Moose is unbreakable. We then cut to John Travolta as Moose, riding a moped through the streets of Los Angeles at dusk. He's smiling his ass off and waving to everybody as he swerves himself down the road. I've asked you this before. Do you guys ever, when I'm not around and you watch these movies I tell you to watch, get down on your knees and just be like, God bless you, Matt Cade. If it weren't for you, this movie would have never crossed my path.
Oh, I say that often.
Thank you. Let's stop. Let's move on. Moose arrives at a Hollywood memorabilia shop. Upon removing his helmet, we see he's got a very unusual hairstyle. It's a gray mullet with a bowl cut on top and shaved sides.
Yep.
He walks with lumbering steps. His shoulders slouch forward, and he frequently rubs his earlobe and then smells his hand afterwards. He tells Aaron, the shop's owner, that he can't talk long because he has to take a poo. It's clear early on that casual small talk isn't something Moose is comfortable with. Even when he asks Aaron, so what's new with you? He's not really wanting to know what's new with him. He's not really listening to what's
It's something
new.
he's been told to do.
He's been programmed by himself, like you got to occasionally
nice. Yeah.
ask other people how they're doing. It's very forced. And within these first few seconds with Moose, we've got a really clear idea of who he is. Travolta has crafted, say what you want about this movie, he has crafted a character, and in 30 seconds we know a ton about this character.
Yeah, I'm on the fence as to whether I think this is just the it's obviously that Moose is on the spectrum. Some will use the R word.
No R word. Spectrum.
I'm on the fence as to whether it was a stereotypical take on it, because it kind of is, but at the same time, I mean, within seconds, like you said, you know a ton about this character before he's even really got.
He's been on screen for less than 30 seconds, and we know a shit ton about.
And
this
what's
guy.
funny is that knowing the actor well enough, or at least following his work well enough, this is him. This isn't somebody telling him what to do. This is him actually putting...
You think the lead singer of Limp Bizkit is coming over to his house at night and giving him detailed notes?
Well, I didn't know that until like 5 minutes ago, but now I'm like, obviously.
But I'm also... I started asking the question, after further into the movie, was like, did Fred Durst really write a complex character?
Apparently, I'm going to give you a little just what I did. I don't like to read too much about Fred Durst. Apparently, this was based on his interaction with a specific fan of Limp Bizkit.
Okay.
That's what drew. He's directed other films, believe it or not. And he's directed a lot of their music videos, but he actually has directed at least one or two other films. It's kind of what he's wanted to.
Okay.
As people realize how stupid Limp Bizkit is, he's
Yes.
realized he needs to do other stuff.
I've heard the words you've said, but I'm not really comprehending them.
You did it all for the Nookie X.
I guess so.
The Nookie. So you can stick it in your.
I'm
Moose,
just waiting for the cookie.
Moose has. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna make it. I wasn't gonna. I was not gonna admit this on the show tonight, but I'm gonna admit it. Late '99, I guess 2000. I was living in Florida. I was away for the first time.
Is this?
I went.
Are
in,
you
I,
that fan that
I
Frank
went
Durst
into.
was talking about?
I went into a Best Buy and I actually bought the the chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water Limp Bizkit CD. It had a really, I thought at the time, 20 years ago. Don't judge me.
Just say technical difficulties.
He did a song with Exhibit, and I think DMX was in it, and I thought it was kind of, so I was like, this is before you could just buy a song.
Yeah.
So I bought the CD. I bought a Limp Bizkit CD. You guys are never going to look at me the same, are you?
Hey, a lot of people don't like the character. I was a fan of the Dead Man motorcycle character. I think the Undertaker, when he came out for like a couple of years.
The American Redneck?
The American Badass. American Badass. Wasn't that a Limp Bizkit song that he came out to? Dead Man Walking.
No.
I don't know, but I am looking at him differently from now on.
No.
Anyway, I thought it was fine.
All right, let's just move on. We don't need to talk about me listening to that. Well, Moose has dropped into the memorabilia shop to tell Aaron, the owner, that he's finally meeting his favorite actor, Hunter Dunbar, that night as he got invited to the cast and crew party. And I realized doing a podcast, quote fingers, really
don't work.
But our Middle Eastern viewers on YouTube will love them. They'll get it. It's a cast and crew party for the new movie, The Friday Night Killer.
Quote fingers.
Oh, wait, that's actually the name of the movie. I don't need quote fingers there. Sorry. Aaron says, that's really cool, Moose. He's actually very patient and warm with Moose.
This whole scene works for me.
You get the feeling Moose drops in here every day, and the shop owner is actually...
Shop owner was a good actor.
Really cool with him.
Yeah.
But Aaron's going to have a ton of Hunter Dunbar autograph items himself after tomorrow night when Hunter visits the shop to sign copies of his new autobiography.
What?
Moose flips the fuck out. He can't believe he didn't know this event was happening. He starts, why didn't you tell me about this? He's like, well, just kind of happened. What am I going to do? Why didn't you tell me call your moped phone? He starts pacing around the store. He's got tons of Hunter Dunbar memorabilia at home, but if he's going to get him to sign something, it needs to be super special. And that's when Aaron pulls out Hunter's black leather vest from the movie Space Vampires.
Heck yeah.
With Rico written on it and like gemstones on the back.
Just bedazzled.
It's
pretty sweet bedazzled piece.
It's $800, but Moose begs and begs until finally Aaron agrees to give it to him for $300 on a payment plan. By the end of the year, you pay me that $300. I will.
I really get the feeling that it was like a $25 vest that he bedazzled himself.
And elated,
he's just ripping him off.
Dude, trembling Moose puts the vest on backwards. It's where the Rico's on the front. You got that on backwards, Moose. I know. And zips out of the shop to take some selfies with him wearing the vest on a very dated cell phone. It's like an iPhone 3.
Yeah.
But he zips out on Hollywood Boulevard he's big on selfies.
I liked the scene. I thought it worked. It was fine.
So far, so good,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
After a very stylized opening credits sequence where we see clips of Hunter Dunbar acting in some of his horror and sci-fi flicks, including him wearing the Rico vest in Space Vampires, while we cut back and forth to an ecstatic Moose driving his moped through the streets of L.A., just happy as shit wearing that vest, Moose arrives home at his apartment, which is a dimly lit hovel filled with movie collectibles and wallpapered with horror movie posters everywhere.
Oh.
What a loser. Don't you ever turn the camera around. But you know what? It's actually not a hovel. It's dark, but it's actually like an old building, and it's kind of nice. I thought it was too nice.
It's actually really large considering it's in L.A.
In L.A., it's very nice.
Once again, you start asking, what does Moose do to afford this
we're gonna learn
spacious?
We're going to learn how he makes $1 a night.
I know. I was like...
Well, Moose puts on his favorite shirt, this kind of short sleeve button down horror shirt, and rehearses in the mirror what he's going to say that night to Hunter. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Dunbar. I have every one of your VHSs and DVDs. He knows that sounds good. That would be good. But he also knows everyone's going to be saying that. He's got to take it up a notch. He needs to be different. It then dawns on Moose that if he tells Hunter that he loved him in Space Vampire specifically, combined with his amazing one-of-a-kind shirt he's wearing, he can't lose. Hunter will love me, he says. You know what I love, boys?
What do you love?
Unique innovation in the cigar industry. And
yeah, you do.
Who does it better than and more regularly than our buddies over at Drew Estate? I got a really cool cigar I'd like to tell you good people about right now. Just take a second.
All right.
The Pappy Van Winkle's Family Reserve Barrel Fermented Cigar is a long filler premium cigar rolled in limited quantities at La Gran Fabrica Drew Estate in Esteli, Nicaragua. Deep barrel fermentation is the key process here that makes this expression vastly different from anything else on the market. That's true. That's not fake news.
It is not.
Hand-selected leaves from Kentucky, like our beer, are packed into small torquettes. That's bundles of tobacco to you two, which are then loaded strategically into oak bourbon barrels. Water's then added while mince, capital IMMENSE, all caps, immense pressure is applied to the torquettes via railroad jacks. Not car jacks.
Railroad jacks.
Not Wolfman Jack. He's not in there pressing them down. He's dead, I think.
Yes.
Train jacks.
He's probably in the barrel.
But if it was Wolfman Jack, it would be incredibly immense.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. It would sound a lot like Alex Jones in there pressing this stuff. I got chemtrails up in the sky above. I'm trying to press down this Perique tobacco.
The tobacco is then removed 2 to 3 times per year, shaken out. We've seen this process. Watch our videos on YouTube of the Louisiana Barn Smoker. Then repacked. The total process of fermentation takes 12 to 18 months. Who's got patience like that in the industry now? When you get an idea and boom, it's out there a couple months later. These guys are patient as hell. Drew Estate. Leaving a truly unique flavor profile and aroma. The Pappy Van Winkle's Family Reserve Barrel Fermented is now available at brick and mortar Drew Diplomat retailers everywhere. Used to be only on the Pappy Van Winkle website. Now you can get them at any Drew Diplomat store. But they also released the Pig Vitola. That is only available on pappyvanwinkle.com.
Ah.
So they put it out there and they put a new one, but once again, you got to go back to them.
I've had several, but I have not had that pig. I wonder what that format does for the board.
We got to get some of those. If only we knew some people.
If only we knew some people. I'll see what I can do. No promises. Speaking of
Well,
cigars,
you can go to the website and buy it.
Speaking of,
That's what we get told.
I'd really like to try that. Hey, let me send you a link. Oh, us. You're not quite halfway.
No.
But, oh, dude, he is halfway.
Yes.
Look at that guy. I'm not either. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Where we at?
Where are we at? We're pretty much the same spot. It's got that wonderful little T that's still there across
I am fully on board now. I'm replacing my coffee descriptive with the English, the black English breakfast tea. I can get that little tinge of sweetness, which you nailed as honey.
A little bit of honey did
I think
there.
we're on the same wavelength tonight. That and the woodsiness is working so well together on the palate. That slight pepper with the mineral and the earthiness of the Nicaraguan on the nose. I said that yin and yang on the original Rosa Sharon between the retro and the draw was so interesting. That's where they kept it consistent, because I'm getting a completely unique retro hail, a completely unique palette on the draw.
Yep.
But they're working really copacetic with one another.
And you know what's even more interesting? It's not too bad with the lactose sugar aftertaste from the beer.
It's going very well with the beer.
Well, that's what I'm trying to differentiate right now, is because I'm a little, like, the tea, I'm not really getting the sweetness. There's still that little hint there, and I'm enjoying that. But it's
honey?
Like, honey, I'm not sure. Like, is it
Heather?
It's probably Heather. I got it as local honey, which makes no sense because we're in Texas and this is not obviously local honey.
But it just a hint of cream. So I'm hoping that's the cigar, not the beer. Which the beer's got some cream
I'm
to
not
it.
getting any cream from the beer. But that first Rosa Sharon that vanilla latte was creamy as hell.
So I mean, if some of that
I wouldn't know.
profile is still there, then kudos. I love it. Love it.
In other words, a lot going on with this cigar.
Yeah. Yeah.
We like
It's not too
complexity
shabby.
here. What do we always say on the show, Yaks? Don't give us a boring cigar.
That's right.
exactly, Yaks.
It's-
Don't give us a boring cigar. And this
Nothing.
this sucker's not boring so far.
No, it's not a boring cigar.
And construction's been great.
Yeah.
No surprise there. Draw wise, I use scissors. Do you guys use scissors or clip the
I just clipped it.
just once and home
Yeah.
run? Huh?
Yeah.
No, construction is phenomenal.
Okay. Let's get back to the movie. Oh, and the beer is
Yay!
yay. Tight, you got your stout.
I know, and I'm so happy
I'm-
about it.
Which
I'm
I
liking
which
it.
I got these.
You got a stout? How could you give me a stout that is so good that you give me a stout? Why didn't you tell me you were getting a stout?
I got these before I knew we were going to Roma Craft in 3 days, where we'll drink 50,000 stouts.
Yes, we will.
But those stouts,
Hop Nation, baby.
But those stouts will all be like 25%.
That's true. And I never remember what those beers taste like. That's when we need the video camera, so I can watch, like, what happened last night. Oh, okay. It's all.
Why would you let me do this?
It's all. Oh, you'll be getting a lot of that the next morning. The whole ride home from Roma Craft the next morning, I'm always looking at Yaks. What? How could you? No personal responsibility for my own actions. I can't believe you did this to me. Why did you let me do this? Oh, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a blast. Well, later that night, we join Moose as he peers anxiously through a wooden fence in a dark alley. A lot of alleyways in this movie.
That's
That's
It's LA.
It's Los Angeles.
Wow.
City of Alleys.
City of Alleys, that's right.
That was the runner-up to City of Angels. His photographer friend Leah shows up, and he can't believe she's late for this. He's been waiting for 200 hours. Since Moose failed to bring bolt cutters, he brought a pair of scissors. She told him to bring bolt cutters. He brought a pair of scissors. Leah
You don't
has
trust
to.
this guy to execute a plan?
Leah does. She has a lot of faith in Moose.
She
she
believes
does.
in Moose.
I think she might have some issues. She helps boost him over the tall fence.
And
Put-
she's
put your
really
hand-
strong.
Incredibly strong.
Because you have to. We didn't really say this. Leah's a little tiny girl, and this is John Travolta.
Well, if you notice-
Their
Oh,
characters.
big
If you
man.
notice the shot where she lifts him up by him stepping in her hands, it's off screen.
Yeah.
There's clearly a big grip down there.
They put a step in.
Well, they throw him over the fence. I mean, he goes right over.
There's a lot of budget we had to eat up by putting in this step in this alleyway.
Did y'all notice when Moose went over the fence and fell that he was wearing the bright white Academy Sports and Outdoors New Balances Tut style, all white, just plain Jane grilling sneakers?
White laces, white sides, white logo.
It's
White
a
trend.
choice. A very fashionable, sensible choice.
By Moose. He falls, busting his ass in his Tut shoes. But he dusts himself
By the
off.
way, they had black Nike logos. They had black soles. They were black accents. It wasn't just total white.
You saw them.
That's
They're all white.
Dude, no.
Yeah.
No. Y'all drank too much.
You wore Moose sneakers.
You know what? I'd wear them again. They were my favorite shoes.
The best thing we ever did was hide them from him. We buried them. We buried those shoes
Whatever.
at the Kentucky Barn Smoker. We put them in the put them in the flames.
Oh, I thought you were... No, it's the Louisiana Barn Smoker. One of those guys jacked it in there.
Dude, 6 months from now, he's gonna pull out those white New Balances from the. Another year, put it back in.
By the way, those were Nikes.
They were New Balances. He dusts himself off, and
Those
he
are my
head,
current shoes is New Balance.
and he heads into the dressed super fan. He has to go enter through the kitchen to get to the cast and crew party of this restaurant. Of course, everyone is dressed super fancy, while Moose wears his horror shirt and backpack, rubbing his earlobe and smelling it constantly.
TNCC style.
A bartender asks him if he'd like a drink, and he asks for a strawberry milkshake with real ice cream in it. We don't have milkshakes, pal. Get you a cocktail or a soft drink. That's not. This party isn't going to go well for Moose.
No, I'm
is it?
thinking this is a bad plan.
Not.
Yeah, how did Leah not see this going sideways?
Oh, she saw it, but you know what?
Everything she does goes sideways. Leah is just as much responsible for this mess that's going to happen.
I have a theory on this.
As is. She wants to be on the news.
No.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that. Moose makes awkward conversation with some actresses he recognizes from horror movies. He knows all their work, and to their credit, this weirdo with the backpack and the mullet, they're very kind and nice to him. Thank you so much. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, you also figure it's L.A., so, like, even though you've come dressed to the hilt...
He could be the next big indie director. Why else would he be here? If they,
Well,
if
it's
they let
obvious.
him in, he could be somebody.
Well, it's obvious this guy has issues. He's on the spectrum. So obviously this is some guy's relative that, is just hanging out and being nice.
Well, I gave the women more credit than that. I thought they were just nice ladies. They were
Well, they were nice ladies. I mean, they were treating you nice.
I just thought they could have very easily. They like giggled at him and like rolled their eyes. No, they were very cool. He was a fan.
Yeah.
And he knew everything about the movies they'd been in. I thought it was kind of refreshing that they weren't total bitches to him.
Yeah.
But when they tell him that, he asks, of course, where's Hunter Dunbar? Unfortunately, they say his son had an elementary school play and he wasn't there. He won't be there that night.
Uh-oh.
He wigs, no pun intended, the fuck out. Smacking himself repeatedly in the forehead until
this is a little bit stereotypical.
a bouncer drags his ass. He's kicking and screaming out for Leah's help as she's over there with her camera taking pictures.
Don't know
She
him.
kind of lowers her head in embarrassment. Really, Leah? You
Didn't see this coming?
didn't see it coming, huh?
Oh, she knew. She knew.
You guys are convinced that she knew this would happen.
I don't know if she knew it would, but how can you not? How can you not know that this is a risk that's going on?
I mean, Moose is
Well,
a pretty...
Let's ask the
That's like
question.
bringing us to an open bar party and not expecting us to be like total slosh.
Well,
by
at this
come
point-
on.
Well, it's
What
like
are we
Rumacraft.
at?
What you were getting
It's like
into.
Rumacraft. Skip knows at 3 a.m. what's going to be going on.
Well, we asked,
That's on him.
We asked the question
My wife says yes, it is on.
because I
him.
mean, at this point, you
That
see
poor
him,
Uber driver.
like anyone else, like I'm about to meet my big, celebrity crush.
Don't meet your fans.
But you're thinking to yourself, he's all doing the stuff in the mirror, like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Blah. What if he actually was there? You're thinking he's just going to be like, rah, just freak out. I mean, he's over there having smacking himself in the face because he's not there.
I was amazed how well he
What
held it
was he gonna be
together
doing
with
if
the
he was?
actresses. But then, when he finds out Hunter's not there, he just goes full-blown Rain Man. And well, Leah tracks Moose down later at his place, and she's furious with him. Her camera's how she makes a living, and he threatened that by flipping out while she was on the job.
He didn't threaten that, Leah. You threatened that.
Very, very correct, Hud. He blames Amanda, the actress he was talking to. She's the one who acted like a celebutard and got me booted out. All I wanted was an autograph.
Message.
Celebutard is a word they use a lot. Both he and Leah.
Message.
Oh, and he blames Leah for Hunter not being there. It's your fault. You said he'd be there. They argue it out, but in the end, they make up. You get the feeling they don't have many other friends, so you got to preserve the friendships you do have, no matter how shitty the other ones
True.
are.
Life will chew you out.
We can relate to that, huh?
Yeah, we
Yes, we
can.
can.
Yeah.
That's what brings us back here every other
I'm
Tuesday.
desperately trying to make new friends, and I just keep, Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that text one day from somebody. I found some new friends. Podcast is over.
Well, I thought I have, but apparently you keep running them off. Don't you think I didn't know?
I gotta say this: the actress playing Leah is not very polished. She could have used way better direction to help her come across as more authentic. It's bad acting. She's bad. She's bad.
I really didn't get into that much.
I'm the only person, not just here at this table, but in the universe, that watched this movie more than once, including the cast and crew. Trust me, she's bad. She's very amateurish, and the way she delivers her lines is extremely awkward. With a different director, he could have really done something
I'm sure
with
they
this
were
chick.
really happy. 15 views on Amazon Prime, but 13 of those was one guy.
I'm not blaming her.
I'm going to cut her some slack.
I'm saying a good director could have mellowed that out a little bit.
Looking back over our filmography in the movies that we've reviewed, she's not the worst actress we've seen, and I didn't mind her.
Wait till May 2020. We're doing beach balls. You're gonna see some shit.
He's so happy.
The next morning, we have Moose working Sunset Boulevard, dressed up as a British Bobby. Yax, did I use that right?
You did.
Oh,
A British cop,
Correct.
calling out things like Jack the Ripper. Wait, that's not English.
yeah, it is.
Actually,
Was
it is,
it?
Yes.
Poppycock.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't. In my ears, it sounded more Australian.
But
Well, that's because that's the way he pronounced everything.
Yeah, but
Jack the Ripper was
Jack
a
the Ripper.
It
That
was
sounds
a,
English?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do an English accent.
well,
Sort
Yeah.
of.
Moose style.
Yeah.
Poppycock. I'm like Hugh Grant over here.
Well,
I
more
just-
like Moose.
Just really have a hard time looking at him in the uniform with the haircut.
You're
and-
doing as good as the guy with the wig on and on the spectrum. He takes selfies with tourists. That's what he does. He entertains them, tells them stories about Jack the Ripper and stuff. They take a selfie with him. He's got a full fake mustache and his little bowl British cop hat.
Dude, what are you doing walking around this?
And I guess this is how he makes enough dough to pay his rent, even though we join him out on the streets several times and we never gets more than $1.
Yeah.
I,
Apparently, that pad he's renting is very inexpensive.
He ain't paying off that vest by the end of the year. There's no way.
well, he did say he has only got $300.
Yeah.
The guy should have asked for it like right now. Anyway,
Oh, he was giving it to him.
But
He
really, I
wasn't
mean,
giving
he's
it.
probably got a lot more. Look at all that memorabilia he has.
That's true.
He's been on the streets for a while. He's probably, a lot of people probably give him shit just so he leaves them alone. If I give you
Probably.
this poster, will you just never talk to me again?
Well, maybe also.
Well, that's really
I mean,
cool.
How do you think I got half the shit in here?
I mean, we're
Please,
saying
sir,
we're
please,
saying
just
he's
go away.
Put your pants on and just never come back. Deal. Oh. Across the street, there's a really popular street performer named Todd the God,
Oh God.
who wows the crowd with physical stunts like shoving nails up his nose with blood shooting out, while his accomplice Slim picks their pockets, much to Moose's disapproval. When Slim abruptly quits due to getting an unfair share of the profits he steals, Todd tries to recruit Moose to team up with him, but Moose ain't having it. Moose tells Todd, "You don't respect the boulevard, you don't respect the fans, and regardless of all that, I don't steal from people."
Yeah. Good
he
job,
doesn't, he
Moose.
doesn't say it that eloquently.
No. But good job, Moose.
Yeah, he's got principles.
He does. He does.
Actually, he has very, very strict principles on how life and people should act, which that's never going to work out for you in life, period. You got to loosen up a little bit. No one's ever going to behave the way you want them to. Am I right, Ash?
very true.
Can't hold it against them. Everybody's different. That was kind of poignant.
Message.
Did I say something poignant?
I guess.
Moose arrives a few minutes late to Aaron's shop that night for the Hunter Barton? I think
Hunter Dunbar.
Dunbar. Yeah, sure.
Hunter Dunbar signing, but his friend, Aaron, shuffles him to the middle of the line. Good,
I got you.
Good friend. Once he lays eyes on Hunter sitting at the table head signing books, the world stops. Everyone else in the shop momentarily disappears, and in slow motion, Moose just stares at Hunter as his favorite actor looks up and smiles, waving Moose to come forward.
Come forward, Moose.
Lit from above, everyone disappears, a blue light.
And almost angelic
So
music.
fucking cheesy. It's a stereotypical movie moment that on the surface I thought was super fucking cheesy. But what Travolta does with just his gaze here as he looks up there, it's not... This is what the pros do, man. It's not... It's not
It's not
over the
the
top.
top, overacted.
It is so fucking real and subtle. I'm going to go ahead and say it, dude. We ended the year with Gotti last year with Travolta as Gotti. And now we've got him creating this character. The dude is a fucking pro.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
He puts his heart and soul into what he does. The guy's never pulled a Willis as far as I've seen. A Bruce Willis. Give me the check. I'll show up, say your lines. The guy, say what you want about this movie, which we will throughout, and at the end we'll
Yeah.
sum it up, and probably it won't be favorable if I'm reading the zeitgeist of the room right. But this guy fucking cares about what he's doing, and you can tell in that scene where it's just him looking, The guy is putting everything he's in, but he's a pro, so it's subtle. It's so subtle. God, it's good.
There was a question, or there was a conversation with Liz Taylor, and she was talking about acting and facial movements, and she was like, "Well, you have to realize that a little bitty eyebrow twitch on a big, huge screen speaks volumes. So if you try to overact that twitch, it just comes off as just crazy."
Like the Peloton girl.
Yeah, the Peloton.
I raised my eyebrow, and now a dude's in the witness protection program.
Good tie-in. Good tie-in. And that's what Travolta kind of mastered here. It was just these little subtle.
It was all in his
movements.
eyes. He actually acted with his eyeballs.
Yeah.
It's so weird here. It's crazy.
It's so weird that he did this.
That was my one problem initially.
Just give me the close up.
I was
give it
just
to me.
really like, oh god, he's gonna at some point he's gonna do something and be like, nope, I'm out.
It's so
because
weird here.
because of just this, my brain started thinking like, oh shit, this is gonna be like too many jokes like Tropic Thunder. He went,
Yeah.
Simple Jack.
Full R word.
Full R word. And it was funny. I'll get into the full R word.
Thing
later.
is, the R word doesn't apply here.
Well, I know, but that's my thing is like when you say you're going to be playing a character that has
No, it could. It absolutely could. I mean, it's nice to say that he's on the spectrum, and yes, we've come to diagnose a lot of different things throughout that, but he's absolutely mentally underdeveloped.
Correct, but correct. I'm gonna leave it at that.
It's complicated.
Do I need to get my
But
lawyer?
he's
That's what I told Jenny. It was like, because we have an aunt with Down syndrome, and it can very easily be too far on this kind of character to where you get stupid with it.
But that's kind of where when the R word gets tricky for me describing a performance. I mean, this was nowhere near Down syndrome. To me, this was a much more, whether it be Asperger's or whether it be, autism or it's this is kind of a blend, a couple different things in a blender.
Yeah.
But as far as the Down syndrome angle and the mentally retarded angle, I didn't get that. I got all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the cigar. He was complex.
You're saying the cigar went full R word?
This cigar goes full. Hey, they'll use that in their marketing. This cigar goes full R word. TNCC. No, of course not. We don't use the R word.
But
here.
no, that's what I was very thankful for that because like I said, initially I'm like, oh man, where are they going to be taking this character? I mean,
those little moments like him watching Hunter signing.
I'm sorry, I did see that scene. Well, you went full R word. Never go full R word.
Y'all both thought of that?
Yeah.
yes, that's what I was thinking the whole time because I was like, as soon as like the haircut and everything, I was like, I figured
his haircut was very. What was the
because it's
the
like you said,
character that Ben
the funny
Stiller
thing was
it's
is that
shaved on
Simple Tom.
the
or
funny
whatever
thing
it
is that
Simple
if you-
Jack.
Simple Jack. He had the Simple Jack haircut.
If you dissect that scene,
I swear to God, if he comes out in overalls, I'm out of here.
if you dissect that scene, Downey Jr. is actually telling Ben Stiller's character that he did a good job acting. He was like, "You did a really good job acting. You swung for the fences. I really liked that role." It's like, no, I'm not kidding you. I really liked it. But
I'm
went full R word.
going to bring this home with what you guys are saying now because Travolta did a for your consideration to the Academy voters promotional thing for the Fanatic.
I think
and
you could tell
and
that
put quotes
it was
there.
going there.
And I think a lot of people maybe thought he went full R word and didn't take it seriously. I'm saying bullshit.
I agree, and I agree with that.
This guy carefully crafted a very specific character, drawing traits of this mental handicap, this mental
I
handicap.
absolutely agree with that.
I was convinced he sat, this is in my mind, in his mansion with a bunch of books and videos of different mental disorders, picked and chose what would make this guy the most interesting person to watch in this movie, and created something that we've never seen before. And to that, I just give him...
I'm not saying that we haven't seen it before, but I absolutely agree with you. He deserves a lot of props for this. He really does. I mean, he actually did his research on it, and it wasn't so over the top that it was just a one. It dances on stereotype, but it's not done to be a stereotype. I mean, he was actually trying to portray a character.
Yeah.
It was something that he created. It was something that was trying to breathe life.
And he seems
into.
very proud of it, despite everyone laughing at it. And I don't get the laughter because it's like you can say, oh, it's directed by Limp Bizkit guy.
They're laughing at it because they think that obviously this was an Oscar pitch, that he took this role because it was going to be controversial and because it had Oscar indie talent. I understand.
I have never in my life looked at Rotten Tomatoes before watching a movie. I've never looked at Rotten Tomatoes in my life. Period. I got into it with our friend Skip, who we'll be sitting with a few days. I mentioned a movie to him once. He's like, it's got this on Rotten. I'm like, I don't. If you go into a movie and you care about what other people thought of that movie, you're going in biased from the get-go.
Yeah.
I never look at that shit. But I think this movie has like a record like 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's notoriously shit all over this movie.
Well, there's
shit
some
all
reason
over
for
this
it.
movie.
Yeah.
We do it over 107 episodes. We've had a lot of shitty movies with really golden stuff in it.
There's a lot to shit on this movie, but you can't shit on Travolta. I'm sorry.
No, you really can't.
The guy was, like you said, a professional actor who worked his butt off on this.
And you know what? Say what you want about Scientology. It's stupid, but Tom Cruise and John Travolta believe in that shit and also make amazing characters in amazing movies. So it's just proof you can be really stupid about some stuff, but still really good actors.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. TNCC is anti-Scientology, correct?
Hey, man, do whatever you want to do. If you want to believe in that, that's fine.
I was a Scientologist for 10 years in the mid to late 90s. I haven't told anybody.
You just told us now.
Oh, and all our Middle Eastern...
I was about to say you just told all of Syria.
all our
That's kinda
Middle
cool.
Eastern YouTube viewers. I escaped. I'll never wear that little sailing hat again. Hunter, I should mention, he's up on stage signing books. He's played by veteran child actor Devon Sawa, who genre fans might remember this. He disappeared for a while. Probably worked, but we hadn't seen him. He debuted in the movie Idle Hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he was in the first Final Destination. He was a kid actor, or a teenage actor.
It took me
I haven't
a
seen him in
second.
years. He's like Jeremy Renner, kind of. He's got kind of a Hawkeye kind of
Right. That's
gravelly
actually what
voice.
I thought of it
And
at first.
Am
he
I the
looks
only
a lot
one that-
older than he is. He's
Am
got
I the
kind of
only- Am I the only one that saw Fritz Beer?
Yes.
I can see that, but I mean, no, I didn't think
see
of it.
no.
I'm not saying that I saw Fritz Beer on the dude's face, but I'm seeing Fritz Beer in this role.
Speaking of Fritz Beer, we are listening to Fritz Beer tonight, as we do every night on the show. Go to fritzbeermusic.com, buy a CD, buy all his CDs. Go there this time of the year and buy his Christmas song. It's an Austin-centric. We listen to it around the house every holidays. It's a great original Christmas song he originally did with his band Punchy. fritzbeermusic.com.
And for all of our fans in the Middle East, that's Austin, New Jersey.
Yes.
No, I saw Fritz in this role. I'm like, Fritz. I think Fritz could have pulled this role
No,
off.
because to be a leading man, like Fritz is, I don't know if he has that ability to go from. No.
You don't think so?
No. I think that he's got the Manson lamps.
He's got the Manson lamps, but that's what works in this.
Don't get me wrong. We're going to learn a lot about Hunter's actual personality.
Are we?
He's a dick.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
He comes across very cold. We'll get to that. You might. I'll revisit that. Okay. Get this. Just as Moose's turn to approach the table and have his moment, leather space vampire vest in his trembling hands, Aaron tells Hunter, the shop owner comes up behind Hunter and says, your ex-wife Brenda's outside and she really needs to talk to you. She's parked in the alley behind the thing. So many alleys. A vividly pissed off Hunter gets up and exits the shop, leaving Moose, who's right there with that vest. Is he coming back? I'm next. He's coming back. He's like, relax, man. He'll be back. Just take it easy. Outside, Brenda has their young son Danny in the car with her, and she is fuming. She had a date tonight, and Hunter knew that, and he was supposed to watch the kid. Before they can get into it any further, Moose barges out in the alley with his vest, explaining, I'm your biggest fan, Hunter. I was next in line, and Hunter says, hey, man, take it easy. Give me a minute. He's pissed off. Like, Hunter's pissed off, talking to his ex-wife, obviously, that is never good. So Moose, okay, he takes a few steps back. Hunter tries to smooth talk Brenda, but she's heard it a million times. She tells him, "You're full of shit, Hunter." He's like, "How about I call you tomorrow and we'll smooth this out?" Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Fuck you, you got 30 minutes." Yeah, she's not buying it. She peels out, and Moose seizes the opportunity to tell Hunter, "I'm on your side, Hunter. You're the best actor, the best." "You know what, buddy? You need to learn some fucking manners," Hunter says, as he brushes past Moose to go back inside. Moose drops the "I have all your VHSs and DVDs" line on him. He said he wasn't going to use that line, but he used it.
He was desperate.
And surprisingly, he knew it didn't work. He wasn't impressed, which he predicted it wouldn't. And even when he thrusts the space vampire's vest in Hunter's face, the actor isn't impressed, just increasingly annoyed. "Hey man, how about I sign your face with my fucking fists? That's a collector's item you're not going to want to take home. Trust me." Moose mutters a pathetic, "Yes, sir." And with that, Hunter re-enters the shop, leaving Moose out in the cold, and he fiercely dumps the vest in the trash can. We'll learn he goes back and gets it later. Not a good first meeting between Moose and Hunter.
Never meet your heroes.
Oh, Leah will tell us that in a voiceover later. She's so wise.
Of course she will.
She's so wise. In voiceover, not in her real life. Tut, the cigar?
Very, very good.
Anything
Very good. No, that tea note has been all across the palate this entire time.
It is, and the tiny bit of sweetness. I'm gonna give it to you with the honey. I'm also gonna give that woodsiness has been consistent with that tea component. The mineral and the slight pepper on the retro has been consistent. It's just delicious.
It is a very, very good cigar.
Really good. Construction's been great.
Yep.
But it is a departure from the original Rose.
It is. Like I said, it's a definite branch off of the flavor profile from the Desert Rose.
Which that had the vanilla sweetness. It's replaced it with the honey sweetness. But you know what? I'll give it to Sharon. It is more robust.
It is.
The woodsiness is built up a little bit more, but that mineral really and that
The mineral is
Nicaraguan earth
I've
makes it-
gotten a lot of mineral, and that pepper's kicked back up a little bit. It's gotten more of a little breadiness towards the end.
Getting some breadiness in final third.
Yeah.
That's another component. To me, the Rose has always been their most complex cigar. I like the kudzu. I like the Cedrus. Cedrus has some really nice complexity as well. But the Rose has always been like, man, these guys really nailed the delicate balance of different flavors. It's a really sophisticated cigar. And I think this continues that trend. It is a very sophisticated, got some nice, just 4 or 5 different flavors that are working really well together. I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot.
I'm kind of curious as to why they from a brand aspect, tie this into the Rose of Sharon. Because it is a departure from that flavor profile. So it's not a tweak. It's not a...
It has similarities, though. You've still got that woodsiness.
Does it have enough similarities?
I think it's... Yeah, I mean, the woodsiness was so present on the draw, which it is on this one, too.
Yeah.
In the original, you had that vanilla latte kind of coffee flavor, which they just kind of replaced with the tea and the honey. Yeah. The addition of the mineral and the Nicaraguan component really... gives it more on the retro.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, it is still, I would put it mild strength, which is the Rose. Out of all their stuff, the Rose is their mild cigar.
Right. Yeah.
This is still their mild Connecticut cigar until we get to our second cigar, which is another. But I mean, this is still, as far as, you got Jacob's Ladder on this side, you've got Kazoo, Firethorn, you got all. I mean, Rose of Sharon is still their, mild, on the mild side of medium, strength-wise, but I would put this, whereas that was, medium body, I would put this a little more fuller with the addition of that Nicaraguan components.
Okay,
I think it fits well with the Rose of Sharon.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I don't have that concern.
Okay.
Branding, it makes sense to me. Do you guys want to talk price point? Your final third. We're getting there.
I'm probably going to say...
Come on, Yaks, nail it.
We're all looking at you, yeah.
I know. I'm thinking about it.
Gonna lift my notes
I was
up like
like-
this so he can't cheat.
For the complexity,
Sometimes
I
I
would go
think he look-
higher.
Sometimes I think he looks over here at my notes. I'm gonna hold him.
I think he does. 3 years of
I'm
this,
gonna
he's learned some
go-
tricks.
I don't think they're gonna knock it out of the park price wise. So I'm gonna go 9.
9.
9. $13.25.
$13.25. It's a big difference.
It's 1950.
I'm gonna go $11.99.
$11.99.
All right.
That's pretty good. I was
It's almost right in the middle, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to think $11.25, but
But get this, boys. Famous Smoke Shop currently has them on sale for $107.99 for a 10-pack. So that's $10.79.
yep.
If you apply promo code TNCC20, that's $87.99 a 10-pack, which drops the price down to $8.79 a stick.
So that's closer to 9.
That's over $3 less. That's less than you said. Holy shit balls. Pass the Tylenol.
That is the that is the best deal on the internet right there.
Order a bundle right now. They got them in stock. They're on sale. Promo code TNCC20. $8.79 a stick. Go over to Cigar Monster. Get you a cheap 5-pack so you get that free shipping. You're out of there for a little over $100.
$9.
Actually, I won. I nailed it at $11.99 on the spot.
You had it on written down.
You can't prove that. Oh, yeah, it's right there. Okay. I think that's... I'm going to be smoking on this thing for at least an hour and a half.
That's a good it's a good price, man. Especially when you put that TNCC code on there. All right, that is just brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff. And it's going very well with tonight's beer.
Oh heck yeah!
I was afraid, God damn, I didn't want to do a stout, but it's December and it's 85 out. We're going to do a stout.
It's
And
cooling.
it is a good stout. I mean,
It
it
is.
is just
Louisville? Is that where it is?
Louisville, Kentucky.
it's not medicinal at all. It is just really
It's not
good.
heavy blasting you with coffee, and
Yeah.
it's not. Everything is very subtle. The milk sugars are, I think,
But
really
it's
well balanced.
thick and viscous and just nice.
Yeah, it's viscous.
Good stout.
It is
Viscous.
viscous.
Good stout.
It's motor oil.
Yes.
No, it's not. That's what I'm
Can't-
always
No,
concerned.
it's actually fairly. It's not syrupy. It's not motor oil. It's not.
Well, that's
thick
what
and-
like I said, it is just absolutely pitch black. I mean, literally,
It is what the doctor ordered.
there's barely any visible browning on the edge of the
Yeah.
glass.
And actually, with the cigar, I forgot to mention this. I am getting a little bit of vanilla in this final, which ties it together with the original rose. I'm getting the honey was there, but in this, as a little over the halfway mark, I am getting a little bit of that sweet
Right?
vanilla.
I didn't get any vanilla, but you
Are
know,
we doing like isn't there something special going on?
I will get to that.
Okay, all right. I don't want to rush it. I don't
Our
want to rush
first trivia
it.
question?
Yeah.
No, we'll get there.
Okay, I don't want to rush.
I will announce that when we begin our second cigar.
Okay.
oh, very nice.
I'm about ready to begin my second cigar.
The next
Yeah.
morning,
Any second now.
well, we do have to talk more about this movie.
Do
Oh.
We do.
Okay.
It's a movie.
I think we've already covered the high
Oh,
points.
Yeah.
come on.
It is a movie.
It is a movie.
The next morning, Moose meets up with Leah at a cafe to ask her how she and other celebrity photographers find the celebrities' houses. Specifically, Hunter Dunbar's house. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. He's taking it up a notch.
Boom.
Now, come on, Leah.
Leah?
Surely you can see, apply some of that voiceover wisdom.
These red flags? Bad idea. Red flag. Don't do it, Leah. Everything in the
I
universe.
was literally waiting like for the window just to see like a car driving by with red flags on it, or
Moose to hold up red flags? What I'm telling you is a red flag. Don't help me. No. Leah ignores her initial reservations completely. You know, the chick who gives us the wise wisdom in the voiceovers.
these are the things you don't do. But
And she
here's
helps him down.
what you don't do.
She helps him download the Star Maps app onto his iPhone 2 in exchange for a French fry. He gives her a French fry, and she's very happy for that.
I can't figure out in this scene because it really feels like to me that Moose somehow makes more money than Leah.
and he makes $1 a night.
And you're just like, wow.
Well, she is a photographer.
She does. It should be noted. She does
Sorry,
make.
photographer
She
friends.
does make.
But you know I'm right.
She does make Moose promise to be careful and not get arrested for stalking. But seriously, me get arrested for stalking? That's hilarious, Moose says. Is it hilarious, Yaks? Is it a hilarious concept?
Once again, I was waiting for the house lights to flicker on and off, but in with like red fashion, like
They're in a coffee shop, the baristas.
you just hear it in the background. Awooga,
Order for bad
awooga.
idea. Order for bad idea. Leah, bad idea. Is
Leah-
there a Leah bad idea? in
Leah
here?
only wears bad idea jeans.
It would be so much better if they were.
Moose says, I'm not an idiot, Leah. Of course you're not, Moose. That night, Moose sits down and writes Hunter a long letter describing his disappointment in the way he was treated by the star, telling him how much he loves him. And he even draws a picture of the vest on the letter, which I thought was a funny touch. You know what? I'm going to draw a picture of the vest.
No, that's
That was
That's actually
funny.
perfect.
That was funny.
And it fits with the character. It really
I'm going to
does.
go and draw that vest. He ends the manifesto by telling Hunter to treat his fans better because without them, he's nothing. Oh, and he adds a PS asking Hunter to please sign his vest and follow me on social media.
I like to follow me on social media.
I love how they didn't say Facebook because they're like, maybe Facebook won't be around in 10 years.
Yeah.
So we don't want to date this thing.
Yeah.
But it just sounded weird, everybody saying social media, like without naming
The social media.
the actual...
I was waiting for them to like hold up the phone and it says
Social media.
Social-
Like the white beer can that says
Yeah.
beer. Social media.
which also from Against The Grain Brewing, they do make a beer.
Oh, do they?
That's just what it's called,
Just
a beer.
Well, this beer is great. I'm a fan. Moose waits until sunup, and then he, with his star map app in his hand, hunts down Hunter's house. That's a weird thing to write. Hunts down Hunter's house.
Not a good idea.
Look,
Not a
LA
good
is a
idea.
driving city, and Moose apparently has enough
He's got a
disposable
moped.
income.
He's got a scooter.
But he still has enough disposable income to go filling his moped up with
That is
fuel
true.
to
We've
drive
seen
to
he-
the celebrities' homes.
We
which
see
is
it later.
Clearly in the hills.
He's got a lot of gas cans around the house. He's not struggling for gas.
but they're signed by the celebrities.
For being a seemingly C movie actor who's mainly appeared in cheap movies over the years, the actor has a surprisingly fancy mansion down the street from Ben Affleck in the Hollywood Hills. Moose, breathing heavily, takes some quick selfies outside the front gate right before he's confronted by Hunter, and his son Danny, who've been out for a morning jog.
Yeah.
Hunter sends the boy inside and then gets in Moose's face. I don't know what you're doing standing outside my house like some kind of deaf mute pervert, but I suggest you keep moving unless you want trouble. Moose swears he doesn't want trouble. He just wants to give Hunter his letter, but Hunter says, I don't accept letters here. He tells Moose, I never want to see you in this neighborhood again. But Moose cuts him off as he pulls out the Rico Space Vampire's vest out of his backpack, causing Hunter, when he reaches into his backpack, Hunter takes a step back. John Lennon style, like this is gonna get bad. Did you notice when he holds up the vest, he said the name of the movie wrong? It's always been Space Vampires. He says, I brought my vampire killer's vest. I wondered, was that a fuck up? Or was that supposed to be he's so nervous talking finally to his idol that he just flubbed the name of the thing? It could go both ways, but I thought it was kind of weird that he Space Vampires, Vampire Killers.
I don't know.
Travolta just could have said it wrong.
It could.
But it could have been just like, I'm fucking nervous. Who knows what he's saying?
It works both ways. I mean,
I said some shit to John Carpenter, the director, the first time I met him that I wish I could have back a million times.
I think a lot of people have had that experience.
It is.
I'm actually on Hunter's side here.
It is weird the first time you meet someone. Now, granted, they met in the alleyway at the signing, but this is in front of his house. This is a completely different dynamic. Did you guys ever meet a celebrity that we talked a lot about meeting John Carpenter at a signing, just much like Hunter. He's signing shit, and I met him, and I ended up talking to him at length later that night, which was just crazy awesome, and the opposite of Moose. And I did not come across as Moose in that. We actually talked for like 30 minutes. But did you guys ever meet an actor, a musician, a celebrity, to where you just kind of lost your shit and no? And, and you met a lot of country music guys.
I've met a lot. Closest one that I would have come out to was Jimmy Olander from the group Diamond Rio. In terms, I know for like normal people, they're like, why are you getting weirded out by this dude? Well, because he invented his own. He basically popularized his own style of playing, created the Bendercaster. I mean, he created his entire sound from a musician style. It was just so freaking cool. And I met him backstage when we were opening for him, and it was just cool. But I mean, at the same time, it wasn't over the top. It was just, hey, how are you doing? And fine. I never got. I can't remember ever getting like totally starstruck from somebody.
Yeah, you've gone to a lot of Comic-Cons and stuff like that, Yax, where you met Stan Lee.
Yes.
Did you get flummoxed?
I didn't get. I was just one of those things where you're like this guy who has helped to influence a very large part of my entertainment life, of me growing up reading the books and just loving everything, and it was just one of those where I was like, initially, you go through the line, and I was like nervous there, but as soon as I got up there, I'm like, hey, and I'm doing the picture and the handshake,
there, it's
and
okay.
And I was like, I just, and it's one of those where it's just, it's the mill, so they're just ushering you through, but I at least got to say, get my picture and like, hey, thank you so much for everything.
I will say,
he just said, absolutely. And
I will say I got real excited one night. We were playing the Wild Horse in Orlando, and the guy who was doing our merch, he was also our driver. He comes running up to me, and this stage was like 15 feet tall, and he's on the bottom of it, and he's just holding his hands up, two sweets here, and he was just, going bananas. Fucking Scott Hall walks in. The wrestler Scott Hall. Drunk and coked up out of his fucking brain.
Allegedly.
No, I will say it was, well, I didn't see him do the coke, but I know he was shooting all night. Shooting shots. And it was actually pretty fun. He came backstage, and I was just like, dude, I am a huge fan of yours. Scott Hall was like one of my top 5 wrestlers. And I'm just like, dude, I am a huge fan. But it was never like just such a like a Travolta moment to where you're just stammering and getting out there.
My only moment like that, my second film, I did a comedy, and we got invited out to Vegas to a film festival, which we were up for an award. And during that festival, there was a thing going on for John Sloss, the famed film rep who discovered Do the Right Thing, Clerks, all these things, and he was going to get his own show on, I think, the Independent Film Network or something. And Kevin Smith was giving a speech to kind of introduce the thing. And we were staying at the same hotel, and I got an invite as part of the film festival to go to this thing. And we were at our little booth at this thing trying to sell our film, and Kevin Smith walked in and came and was talking to us about our movie.
That'd be cool.
And I didn't get flummoxed at that moment. I was like, "Holy shit, it's Kevin Smith!"
Yeah.
Because my film was very much Kevin Smithy. Everybody's comedies were at that time. A lot of same dialogue and stuff. But he was super cool. Asked a lot of questions. But the event was right after that, so I had to leave to go to the John Sloss event. And I go out the side door, and there's Kevin Smith. And he's like, "Hey." And I'm like, "Hey." I was like, I knew he was going to. I'm like, "Are you going to the John Sloss?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you know where?" I was like, "Yeah, I think it's up on this floor of the elevator down here." So he and I walked down, so then that was different because I wasn't behind the desk.
Yeah.
It was just us walking.
There was no safety net. It was just.
And I'm like, I'm walking with Silent Bob. And then I'm in an elevator.
I got to impress Silent Bob.
I'm just in an elevator with Silent Bob.
I need to say something.
And that's when it got super weird and kind of moosey. Where I'm just kind of like, and he's like, so, he's like, you got, it was just like, yeah. I was like, I gave him a DVD, You're a big you really played a part in this, whether you know it or not. Big fan. Chasing Amy. It's like
Chasing Janica.
stuff afterwards. You're like,
He's pulling out the Silent Bob code. I need you to sign this.
no, that's when he pulls out the Silent Bob grappling hook and just disappears up into the sky. Like that was the only time I was like, when I was alone with him in an elevator, I'm like,
It's funny that you mentioned the elevator because I was reading stories about Steve Jobs and some of the employees from Apple, and they said the worst position that you could ever be in was an elevator with Steve Jobs because, this guy is transforming tech, and he's your boss, and you want to. What do I say? I need to impress this guy?
Yeah.
But I don't want to come off like a just asshole.
oh, and by the way, this was early 2000s. It was before selfies and cell phone cameras. So when I got up to the Sloss event and he did his thing and we were all kind of mingling, I had no business there. I only got an invite because of the stupid film festival. So I had a actual camera that I was asking people so I had to ask Kevin Smith if he would take a picture with me, and he's like on the phone with somebody and all that. So and this chick was like drunk and trying to take a picture, and I'm like, that's I wasn't even in the picture. It was just a disaster.
Why are you doing this wrong?
But
why are you doing this?
Unlike Hunter Dunbar, he didn't call me a freak. He was so fucking nice.
That's awesome.
And he actually was like, dude, it was a promotional DVD I gave him. It wasn't the whole movie. It was just like some scenes.
Yeah.
And we're handing out, trying to sell the movie. He's like, I'll check it out, man. He was like, dude, you've come. He said all the right things. Like, dude, most people would never. You're in Vegas. You're from Little Town, Texas. You're in Vegas trying to sell your film. You've already done the hard stuff. He said like all these great things. And for that, I'll always, we shit all over his movie, the Walrus movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't smoking weed then. He was making good movies. But, dude, he treated me really well. And that was kind of the closest analogy I can come to this.
That's better than Scott Hall when I asked him to power bomb me.
Power bomb the shit out of you.
He just shoved me in the face.
He pissed all over me. I love you, Scott. It's like the guy in Running Man when he hit me. Okay, well, but you know what? Taking out that vampire killer's vest as backpack, that gets Hunter even more pissed. What are you, some sort of freak autograph hound? Won't leave me the fuck alone? Then he takes a breath and instantly changes gears. Hunter does. Shockingly, he takes a breath, smiles. You got a pen on you? I'll sign. Moose is like, yeah, I've got like all these pens. You want my autograph? Okay, here's my autograph. He jams the marker hard into Moose's chest and scrawls Hunter across the front of his shirt. Now get the fuck out of here. Which Moose, he does. He shuffles off. Fellas, I'm torn here because on one hand, if he just signed the stupid vest, this might have ended here.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it might have just led to Moose feeling like this approach worked, and he'd be at that gate every damn morning, thinking they're friends.
Dude, this guy shows up outside your house with your kids sitting there. I mean, I'm kind of siding with Hunter right here, but
it's very aggressive.
I mean, he's an asshole, obviously, but still.
I think most celebrities be like,
his
dude,
kid's sitting right there.
I have an agency. Send the letter to ICM. I'll get it through them. My kid lives here. Come on, man. Just give me a little bit of space. Maybe I'll sign it, but I don't want to. There could be there's a middle ground.
There is a middle ground.
There's Hunter.
There's middle ground.
There's this, and maybe the middle ground would have ended this.
I think so.
I think it would have been, I don't know. The Hunter character could have been like, you know what?
He's a hothead.
This is a horrible pin. Let me go in my house. I got a better one in there.
That knife.
Wait right here. Goes in, calls the cops, and be like, I've got a stalker out here.
There was so much middle ground he could have done, but he flat out.
But now, once again, you've got to make the drama for the movie.
The guy is a hothead, and we'll see that.
Okay.
We'll see that build as time goes on. Real quick, I'm not ready to let go of this cigar yet. I am getting that vanilla from the original Rosa Sharon in the final third. I'm getting it. Which is just another kind of cool, complex flavor out of several. Man, I really like the cigar.
It's a good cigar.
It is.
It really is good.
I did like it.
Nice flavor profile. Decent enough strength. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great.
I gotta let it go.
You're going to let go. Which means I should probably introduce the next cigar before we go on.
Another
our film.
cigar.
Another cigar. Can you guys handle it?
I think we can.
I know you can.
We're professionals.
This cigar,
Sorta.
we're not going to apply a rating to. We're just going to smoke it and enjoy it, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It is the 300 Hands Connecticut, also by Southern Draw. It is a 6 1/8 by 52. It's called a Pyramides. Pyramides. It's a pyramid cigar. It's got a little pointy cap. The wrapper is Connecticut, USA. It's a actual Connecticut wrapper. The binder is Peru. We'll get a lot of Peruvian. We've had a few. Filler is pure Nicaraguan. I'll say price point till the end.
$9.
But here's... You son of a bitch. But here's why I want to talk about the cigar. 300 Hands, or if you want to get fancy with it, 300 Manos, which is Spanish for hands, refers to the 300 hands of the various workers from tobacco fields to the rolling tables, everything in between and after, that are involved with making a single premium cigar. Each bundle of the 300 Hands comes with an actual trading card. Where is it? I had it up here. You guys
Was it me?
You guys move my shit around?
No, here it is. Sorry. Got covered.
You were reading the trading card.
I
weren't
was
you?
reading the trading card.
Show it to our... If you're in the Middle East and watching us on YouTube, I'm going to hold it up to the camera here. Each bundle comes with this trading card. And what it does is it showcases... Just like a baseball trading card, kind of.
You'll laugh when they're like, "We're from India, you fucker."
We're from Indiana. We're here on a visa. We go to school. We love you guys. You're branding us as something else. It's a trading card of a worker, a craftsman. It tells you a little bit about who they are, what they're involved in, and what their personal message is to the end consumer. This here is Jose Raul Sanchez Molina. His personal message to the U.S. consumers of 300 Hands is please keep smoking and supporting Nicaraguan premium cigars, and especially those made at A.J. Fernandez Cigar Company. We're all doing our best to provide you with the finest quality, and it is a way to support our families in Esteli and Nicaragua as a whole. Local charity work, he provides food and snacks to school-age children, and possibly support the local families with supplies for schools and clothing.
How can you not like that?
Good job, Jose Raul Sanchez Molina.
I think that's
It is bringing attention to the people that actually put their hands on that cigar you're holding, Tut, before you smoke it.
I think that's fabulous.
Never seen it before. Over the years, Robert and Sharon Holt from Southern Draw have met and interviewed literally hundreds of workers in Nicaragua and listened to their challenges and daily needs, and they decided this was a unique way to both give these individuals some much-deserved exposure and help them out. How do they help out, you ask, Tut?
How do they help out? I asked Tut.
Always so suspicious, this guy. How do they help out? I'm going to tell you.
That's true.
Southern Draw donates 25% of all profits from the 300 Hands line to local charities. That's 1/4. That's awesome. And not the types of charities and fundraisers like you donate to, Yak Boy, trying to raise funds so the strippers down at the Yellow Rose can get new stockings and their high heels repaired.
Hey, they need love too.
We're talking medical services,
why was I
education, rebuilding
You know why.
churches, and worthwhile things such as that. How'd that fundraiser go, by the way, for the new stockings and high heel repairs?
Well, thank you for
Going
asking.
good?
It was
Did
fantastic.
you guys meet your goal?
We did. They can cover all their legs now.
Pasties for everyone.
So smoke one of the 300 Hands for a great cause, and you might just come back to it again and again because it's a fine cigar. And I say that, having not smoked the Connecticut, I say that based on the Habano and the Maduro offerings, which we smoked last year at
Yes.
IPCPR, and I've smoked several times since. I've not had this one yet, so it could very well stink. Much like those strippers' old stockings and shoes. Maybe that charity was a good idea after all.
I think so.
Good job, buddy.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
That's what they say.
Especially with strippers.
Trivia question number 1, listeners, viewers.
Dum, dum, dum.
Send us a direct message on Facebook or Instagram telling us what percentage of profits does Southern Draw donate to charity from the 300 Hands line.
You just heard it.
Send us that direct message via Facebook or Instagram what percentage of profits from the 300 Hands line does Southern Draw donate to charity, and that will put you in the running for either the ashtray or that big-ass drinking thing.
Put that big ass drinking thing in the deer stand. You're gonna go. Put the ashtray and the big ass drinking thing in the deer stand. And you're
Like I
gonna
told
go.
Yax in our video that we kind of previewed some of this stuff, this big-ass drinking thing, yes, you immediately see it camouflaged. Hunting. Dove hunting, deer hunting, this thing is perfect. Not only are you hunting, but you're representing Southern Draw. 2, say you're not a hunter, but you're just up in a tree and you don't want people to see you, which is probably not good. And you're probably up to something nefarious, but you're going to get thirsty.
That is true.
We don't support guys up in trees trying not to be seen. But if you are going to be up there, stay hydrated.
Or if you're running around the city of Los Angeles on your moped and you're hunting for Hunter Dunbar. Yeah, and you're hunting for Hunter Dunbar's house and you're going to get thirsty on your moped.
If you are out in
there you
L.A.
go.
climbing over fences and hiding in the bushes at Ben Affleck's house, don't you want to drink out of something that's going to keep your, what do we say, 1/4 Coke, 3/4 bourbon. This is going to last TNCC about 30 minutes. The average man, it's going to last you all day.
That's true. I'm going to need that for when I chase down Matthew McConaughey.
Now, this goes to a lucky listener.
Yes, it's going to go to Tayson Juddle.
You listen to the show. There's your first trivia question, listeners. This is fun. I like
It
giving
is.
away shit. Again, it's going to cost us a goddamn fortune in postage. But you know what? Okay.
Maybe you shouldn't have blown all of our funds on the marketing message.
Oh.
See?
Yes, I actually, Tut was consumed with other outside things, and I actually did spend a little bit of our marketing budget, what was left. If you'll go to our Facebook page, or I'll continue to post it on our Insta stories on
Because it's
Instagram.
freaking hilarious.
It's great.
We got To Catch a Predator's Chris Hansen to pump up our upcoming show with Rome Craft. I'm sorry. It was the best $50 we've ever spent in the history of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
I agree. I concur. Even if I had been here for that
We
marketing
spent
meeting, I would've
$200 at that Mexican restaurant in the North Carolina airport. We can spend $50 on Chris Hansen.
done it. That's right.
Who charges for chips and salsa?
They do.
Uh,
And I'm sorry, did Chris Hansen not come across as the coolest guy in the world?
He did.
he did.
I'm a big fan of his To Catch a Predator show. I've always have been. I love seeing dudes.
My wife,
How they react
my
when they're
wife
busted.
loves all types of murder shows, mystery shows.
So she appreciated it.
Oh, she dug it. She was just chuckling all kinds.
I love it. Love it. Okay, does anybody need the beer? I do. I'm going to shift gears. We have so many beers that accumulate through the year.
Just knew he wasn't going to stick with the
Do I
stout.
want Metallica Enter Night? No.
He wasn't going to stick with it.
Do I want a
You
Hans?
know, no, you're going to go for that Don to Do thing or the Unibrew.
He's-
Oh, we do have some Unibrew. Yeah.
You know you're going
he
Unibrew.
is.
I'm just curious how that will go with the
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course,
Desert
of course.
Rose.
Well, you're a professional. I mean, you need to try all tacks. And
Yeah, I don't. I'm a scientist, a beer scientist. Pool waitress for you and
Of course.
Tut kid. Tut. Get some fish for you and.
Why don't I even do this?
I am going to try the Unibrew. Thank you, Tut. You made my decision. We're shown some nightfall footage of LA and the Sunset Boulevard Street performers as Leah's voiceover drops this nugget of wisdom on us. They say you should never meet your heroes, but meeting them is not the problem. It's when you get too close. Close enough to see what's behind the mask. That's a line they don't want you to cross. No shit, Sherlock. I'm not listening to any more of her bullshit.
I'm not either.
Talk about an unreliable narrator. She's responsible for everything bad that happens in this movie. And she's our voice of wisdom? She's
Yeah.
making terrible decisions right and left.
I got thoughts on this.
A crying and incredibly... Well, there's
No. There's a specific moment I have to bring up.
come in when you can.
Yeah.
A crying and incredibly upset Moose, he just got written all over by his hero, literally. Can you imagine if Kevin Smith did that to me in the elevator? Snoochie boochies on my chest. I'm like, I go back to the hotel room just crying. I call Cody on my 1998 cell phone. He wrote Snitchy Boochies on me.
I would be there for you.
Snoogans? Not the right time. I gotta poo. I gotta go. I was Moosey. Yeah. Fuck Leah. A crying and incredibly upset Moose manages to pull himself together and put on his British police uniform to make a little money. Literally, he makes $1. One dude brings his kid over because all the other street, Marilyn Monroe's busy.
Why would you do that?
Jack the Ripper. All right, here.
Why?
Here's $1.
Why would you expose your son to this?
I'm not taking this weirdo. After a shift, the very popular Todd the God and his partner Slim's back. He realized he left a good thing. He's back with Todd the God.
Slim is...
You get the feeling Slim leaves every day. I'm out of here, man. Fuck you. Next day, they're working together.
And Slim, of course, is played by James Paxton. Bill Paxton's son.
What?
What? You don't see that looked often.
What?
Yeah.
But he's so bad.
He's young.
But he's terrible.
Kind of reinforces my theory.
Like Todd the God and Slim are the worst. That's Bill Paxton's son?
It is.
He pours more Uber.
I need to make it go away.
I gotta poo. Hold on. I rubbed my earlobe.
I just pooed.
Really?
It is, yes.
Now I feel like, God.
Well, I was curious, like,
He hates Bill Paxton, so you should be relishing in this.
I don't hate Bill.
Yeah,
Paxton.
you shit all over him until he died, and then you got a conscience.
Yeah, I did.
Well,
I love Bill Paxton. Really?
Game over, man. Game over.
Really?
That's Bill
Yes.
Paxton's son.
Well, I mean, let's...
No way, man.
You take on... I don't know what other acting he's done.
Normally, I encourage you guys to do some research and some...
Oh, now he's like, don't ever look it up again. Ever. I
just
want to
love-
know nothing.
I just love the fact that surprised look that he had on his face when he was like, that's Bill Paxton's
Dude,
son.
you got me. I was not expecting that. Now I'm like all conflicted. Well, they
He
bully...
acts like a 12-year-old boy.
They bully Moose around. They bully Moose around real good. Todd even grabs Moose's head and shoves it down into Bill Paxton's son's crotch
It changes the dynamic.
to blow him. Man, I hate these guys, both the actors and their characters. But you know what, Slim? I felt like he has room to grow as an actor.
Oh.
I felt like he was just getting his feet wet. He's starting. I'm gonna give him a pass. Has nothing to do with Bill Paxton.
Going down, right back up.
Before things can get too messy with Moose's face and Bill Paxton's son's crotch, a likable old security guard walks in and saves Moose's ass. Oh, I got big problems with this dude. After the douchebags leave, the security guard tells Moose, "You can't let people keep shitting on you. You're a good guy, Moose, but one of these days you're going to need to learn and stand up for yourself. You're going to have to learn to fight back." Man, did the screenwriters really feel like they needed this speech from some random one-scene character to push Moose into action? I think, no, scratch that. I know John Travolta was doing a really good job of that by himself with the way he was letting this character develop. You don't need the wise old African-American security guard to come in and push him. No. I could see where this scene existed on the page. Maybe whatever actor we
I think
get
this
to
is
do
kind of a Rudy scene.
isn't it. Maybe if we get the bad actor, the scene might be. The minute you see what Travolta's doing with this character of Moose, that goes on the editing floor. You don't need this random dude telling him to get into action.
Yeah.
Travolta's doing a very good job of that on his own. X this shit out.
I think this was kind of the Rudy moment with the Charles Dutton or something.
What are you, 300 pounds and nothing?
5 foot nothing. Yeah, it screamed Rudy.
I've never seen
man.
Rudy, but it is the Charles Dutton role.
Yes.
And it has no place in this. As soon as you see that, oh God, Travolta showed up to play, get this shit. He's handling this. Leave him alone.
Well,
Yeah. You didn't need to see that. You didn't need to see. I mean, first of all, just
The sequence of events of the last few days are really propelling Moose to go where he's going. He doesn't need some random old dude telling him to fight back and do this. He's getting there on his own. Travolta's building on that scene by scene. Get the shit out of there. That belongs on the editing room floor.
Well, it implies that he needs some sort of external stimulus to do
Or
anything.
at least just have freaking Leah do another voiceover, for Christ's
Oh,
sakes.
she's coming.
She's in the corner of the bathroom. And Moose.
Principal McCullough. If you're gonna do a half-assed voiceover, you could at least say something that doesn't betray your motives in the movie.
The next morning, Moose is back at Hunter Dunbar's gate. Who saw that happening? Well, Leah's voiceover tells us, once you've found the cookie jar, it's hard not to go back for more.
I kind of like that one, actually.
But again, much like the security guard's speech, I don't need to hear her explain to me Moose's psychology. You got John fucking Travolta acting his ass off in this thing. Let him run the show. I hate these voiceovers. So I'm not, you know what, guys? I'm not going to mention any of her voiceovers again. They're going to pop up. I'm not going to talk about them.
Eventually you will.
Think so? Yeah. I mean it this time. I'm not going to bring them up. We'll see if who's right, Tut. We'll see.
Well, we're never going to do 2 cigars again. We're never going to do this again.
Hey, Pete, I got one more question for you. 5 questions ago. Moose scales the iron fence that surrounds the Hunter Dunbar property. His letter to Hunter gripped firmly in his hand. The first thing he notices in the backyard is a dead flower in a pot. Why would Hunter Dunbar let this flower die? By saying that loudly, a housekeeper in the house who's dusting notices him from the kitchen window and yells at him, "Get the hell out of here." Moose runs off, dropping the letter on the ground. He runs back into town straight to Leah, where he tells her what he did, and when she freaks out, he tells her, "I'm not in trouble. I didn't get caught. I'm not a stalker. I'm a fan. If anyone should know that, it's you." And he accuses Leah of being mean to him, just like Hunter's ex-wife is mean to Hunter. He's trying to build similarities between him and his hero. Moose leaves in a huff.
I actually missed that. That was a good call. Oh.
Moose leaves in a huff, but he's almost immediately pounced out of an alleyway. It's Los Angeles. Was it the second biggest city in America? And all these people are just like, then you can't walk anywhere without bumping in. Oh, it's the old security guard. It's Leah. Oh, it's Todd the God.
It's actually a myth. There's only 5 alleyways in Los Angeles.
They're so congested now. He's immediately pounced upon leaving Leah by Todd the God, who demands Slim is Bill Paxton's son is left again. So Moose, I want you to work with me hustling money from the tourists that night. Todd calls him a pussy. You don't have the balls to go after what you want. You need money. Come get it. And once Todd shoves him in the chest, between Leah's, Moose finally snaps. He grips Todd's throat with both hands and slams him against the side of the alley building, telling him, "I wish Freddy Krueger would come and chop your head off so it would roll in the street and a truck would run it over and squish it and the blood would splatter everywhere and everyone would watch your head spurting blood." That's some specific shit.
It is very specific.
Holy shit.
It's almost like he's thought about it and only now acting on it.
Moose releases...
Which I really like.
Moose releases Todd the God's throat, turns the corner sobbing uncontrollably, where he runs right into the wise old African-American security guard.
Like I said, there's only 5 alleys. They're all right there.
Who tells him, "I'm proud of you, Moose, for standing up for yourself."
Yeah.
Hey.
You almost killed that guy. Good job.
I heard you 3 alleys over. I had to come and tell you.
Nobody has ever told Moose they're proud of him. Never happened. "People need to stop picking on me," Moose says, "and I'm going to make them stop." Here we go. You know what I hope they never stop making, boys?
What's that?
That's right, Tut. The Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve Barrel Fermented Cigar from Drew Estate. This unique stogie is a long filler premium cigar rolled in limited quantities at La Gran Fabrica Drew Estate in Esteli, Nicaragua. Deep barrel fermentation is the key process that makes this expression vastly different from anything else on the market. Hand select. I should bring Skip one of these. I wonder if he's ever had one.
I don't know.
I'll bring him one.
Okay.
Because we're going to be doing these live reads for the commercials during his show, so I'll give him one. Or you guys could throw one of yours. We got
Actually, they gave me a couple to keep away from the personalities. They were just like, dude, just film. Just here's a cigar, go. Much like Hunter Dunbar, if he would have just signed the autograph and just kept him over the distance. And I finally smoked them.
You smoked them all.
Yeah, I did. I got nothing left to give Skip. Sorry.
You smoked all yours too, didn't you, Cody?
Yes.
That's a testament to how good the Pappy Van Winkle cigars. I might have a couple I will bring for the Roma Craft boys. Hand-selected leaves from Kentucky are packed into small torquettes, which are then loaded strategically into oak bourbon barrels. Water's then added while immense pressure, I'm talking immense pressure, is applied to the torquettes via railroad jacks. The tobacco is removed 2-3 times per year, shaken out, then repacked. The total process of fermentation takes 12 to 18 months. My God, that's a long time. Leaving a truly unique, I give them that, there's nothing else like it, flavor profile and aroma. The Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve Barrel Fermented is now available at brick and mortar Drew Diplomat retailers everywhere. Go get you some.
Go get you some.
A lot of people say they're doing something different in the industry. This is actually something different. Back at Hunter Dunbar's mansion, which, by the way, I'm the only one still nursing this Desert Rose. The Unibrew, was it the Chambly de...
Something.
The Blanche de Chambly. It's going really well with that, too. Imagine that, a Unibrew.
That looks very precarious sitting over there on that table.
Perhaps it should be on the other side.
Well,
It just it's
does Moose listen to Reason?
Moose is special.
I'm not moving that bottle.
Would you please move that bottle?
Oh my God.
I'm going to move it for you. I'm just going to hit the table and it will move.
Nope. It stays there. It'll be fine. I know what I'm doing.
That's not.
Again, for all you Middle Eastern listeners on YouTube or watchers on YouTube, you watch that bottle. It's not going anywhere all night long.
Much like Leah should know this is a bad idea.
Cade tempted fate, like Icarus flying too close to the flame.
Like Icarus.
Such brilliant writing with Leah's voiceovers.
You know it doesn't change.
I just watched that bottle.
Nope, it's not going. Well, yeah, if you bang the table, it will. But
It's just sitting there.
107 episodes. I've lined beers up. Have I ever lost? Well, I've lost a couple of them.
Yes, you have.
I think the beginning of this movie was very poignant. Everything falls down.
That is true.
Even Cade's beer's like an old station wagon, like an AMC Pacer. Everything would crumble.
Oh my God.
Back at Hunter Dunbar's mansion,
Dude, you're cleaning that up.
his sexy Latina housekeeper, Dora,
Of course.
is telling him about the stranger she chased off the property earlier that day. So not only does the star of Space Vampires live in the Hollywood Hills, he can afford help?
Yeah, groundskeeper and this.
They all do.
Come on, Fred Durst. You should know better. They should have at least established he was a child actor, maybe some royalties, or he had a TV show. Nobody being in Space Vampires has a full-time maid.
Space Vampires could be like a ginormous hit.
It could.
We saw scenes from it. It wasn't a giant hit.
It could have been a
Cult hit.
Hunter tries to comfort the
I'm with you.
Maybe he got paid a lot and the movie tanked.
I'm with you.
I think it's bullshit he lives in his house and he has a housekeeper. But Hunter tries to comfort. I've seen these horror actors. They go to conventions and they take $15 for a picture and a signed, 8x10. They're not living in Hollywood Hills with maids. Anyway, Hunter tries to comfort the visibly upset housekeeper by shoving his tongue down her throat, but she pulls away. We can't do this anymore. Besides, there's laundry to do. Hey, the laundry's not going to do itself.
That's true.
What a class act this guy is.
He's just...
They've given us nothing to like about this dude other than he's kind of okay with his kid. He makes his kid brush his teeth, and he's kind of a good dad when he's around. But otherwise, he's kind of a...
Except that he has poor naming choice.
Danny?
What do you mean?
What do you mean naming choice?
His name is Hunter,
Yeah?
and he named his son Tanner.
No, Danny.
Tanner.
His name's Danny.
I thought it was Tanner.
No. Here's where it gets weird. The opening scene where the ex-wife, pulls up in the car outside, she says Tanner. She has a date, and you were supposed to watch Tanner. The entire rest of the movie, and on IMDb, he's referred to as Danny. Fred Durst couldn't even get this right. They call the kid the wrong name in a scene, and he leaves it in there. The kid is called Tanner and Danny. More, though, it's called Danny than Tanner. Which, Danny Tanner is the dad on Full House. That's Bob Saget. Which I just now realized saying this out loud.
But
Which
Hunter...
was no way was Fred Durst trying to pull a riddle like, they'll put Danny and Tanner together. Like, it's not The Shining where you have to put together the riddles of all the shit. No, it was just a horrible choices of events.
Fred Durst is stalking Danny Tanner.
Boom.
He loves Bob Saget.
Who doesn't?
I really don't.
He's overplayed.
Well, guess what? He goes outside to tell his gardener, Julio, he has a gardener.
Don't they all?
I guarantee you, I've been to a lot of horror conventions. None of those dudes have gardeners named Julio or maids named Dora. They're living in a one-bedroom apartment just trying to make bills till they get paid a couple $100 to be in a
Well, maybe Moose needs to direct his anger towards him because he let that flower die.
Yeah.
He's not that good of a gardener if there's dead flowers on the property.
Julio lives. Here we go. A little later, but yeah, they totally call him Tanner in one scene, Danny in another scene. How do you not catch that?
No, I caught it.
Hey, did you guys notice that the mom called the kid the wrong name? Yeah, leave it in there. Be fine. I remember we were on the Blink 182 tour in 90. Come on. A little later, Hunter and his son, whatever his name is, head out for whatever his name is, soccer game. I'm going to call him Danny because that's what they called him most of the movie.
Danny Tanner.
Oh, in Hunter's expensive sports car.
But of course.
Afford that.
That's space vampire
and you
money
guessed
right there.
it.
Our money, that's right.
As soon as they leave, Moose is back over that fence. He sees Dora grabbing his letter off the ground, and he sprints out of the bushes, screaming at her, "Don't read it! Don't read it!" Dora starts swinging. Is it duster?
Yes.
Her duster at Moose, repeatedly beating him with it, which doesn't hurt. It's just a duster. Shouting at him to leave until he eventually pushes her back, and he pushes her so hard she flies back, causing poor Dora to stumble back and crack her head wide open on a bird bath.
Uh-oh.
I guess Dora won't be exploring anymore, huh?
Oh, I knew that one was coming.
It was only a matter of time.
Moose then helps himself inside the house.
I don't know, but see, this is the point where I'm like, this scene here.
It does go very much against the Moose that we've seen because he goes from a 3, maybe a 4, to 8 like that. How do you go from the hesitant, sheepish, I'd like your autograph, sir, to just strolling in the house, playing the piano, running around, screaming, singing like he
After you just killed somebody.
Yeah, but my problem
it's just a nosebleed.
is that
it's just a nosebleed. I've had him before. It's bad, but you'll be okay. He doesn't realize he killed her.
It turned into Mice and Men, like
Lenny.
Yes.
The rabbits.
He's like, hey, you're gonna be fine. Don't
It's very Mice and Men-ish. Good call.
I was just like,
Moose helps himself inside. He's giddies as schoolgirls. He snaps selfies of himself with Hunter's various awards. Plays around on Hunter's piano, which just bangs on the keys like a crazy person. And he puts a set of antlers on his head while he runs around the living room yelling, "Moose in the house! Moose in the house! Here's Moosey!" That seemed like a big jump to me. I'm not a stalker. I'm just trying to get to just taking over this dude's house. That was a big jump. Maybe deep down inside, he knew he killed her and that... What the hell? I don't think so, but I don't know.
This is where the story falls off the rails.
He's complete... Oh, Tut, in my notes, he's completely off the rails now. Yeah? In fact, he sticks around until nighttime as he takes a dump in Hunter's master bathroom while reading a script that Moose feels isn't right for Hunter.
Of course, this is...
Dude, he just squats down and just helps himself and takes a dump and reads the whole script. After brushing his teeth with Hunter's toothbrush and his tongue and gets it all over, he discovers Hunter's prescription sleep medicine and is very disappointed in his hero that he's taking drugs. Drugs are bad, Hunter. You shouldn't be taking these. As Moose watches old family videos on Hunter's camcorder, he hears the actor ride back home to get dressed for a party, so he hides in the back of his closet. Here, it wasn't clear to me if this was later that night or if he's stuck in that closet till the next night. Because it looked to me like Hunter was getting ready to go out and party.
Go out and party, yeah.
But then we cut to him and his son in that bathroom brushing his teeth, which it didn't seem like. So I thought maybe a whole day passed.
I thought so,
and the
too.
guy just stayed in that closet. But then I'm like, so nobody discovered poor Dora out in the yard?
That was my thoughts exactly.
Editing-wise, it was very unclear. Was this later that night or a whole day passed? I thought if a whole day passed, we should have got some shots of LA with another Leah voiceover. You can stay in the back of the closet as much as you want, but eventually somebody's going to need their blazer. Thanks, Leah. Now I'm criticizing her for a voiceover she didn't do.
We knew we'd be going back to it.
Well, we join Hunter tucking, whenever it is, we join Hunter tucking his son Danny into bed. And as they're talking, we see Moose's hand reach out from under Danny's bed and grab one of his toys and pull it under.
Creepy.
He's officially now the boogeyman under the bed.
Yeah.
He's all in. When Hunter washes some insomnia pills down with a couple of IPAs, TNCC style, and passes out in the living room,
TNCC style.
Moose takes a selfie with his unconscious idol. The guy's passed out in the chair. He also gives him a kiss on the forehead, covers Hunter with a blanket to keep him warm, and then he settles down for the night in a chair next to Hunter. But not before rubbing Hunter's earlobe, smelling it, and then putting his finger under Hunter's nose to make him smell his own earlobe.
I'm not sure what that was about.
Am I wrong or is that weird?
That is weird. Very weird.
As he sits in silence in the chair next to Hunter, Moose has a very stereotypical black and white flashback where we see his promiscuous mother fooling around with some dude back in the 50s while her little Moosey watches Night of the Living Dead on TV. Y'all know how I feel about filmmakers using Night of the Living Dead in this shit. Go back to The Void, where it was playing in the hospital. If you really want to pay homage to George Romero, show one of his fucking movies that pays some money to his family members. Everyone and their fucking kid puts Night of the Living Dead in their movie because it's free. We get it. This movie makes a big deal out of it. Like later on, he's like, Night of the Living Dead. Like, I hate fuckers. And guess that. I finished watching this movie. I turned on Lifetime. I'm a big Lifetime movie guy. You know that. It's like The Wrong Husband or The Wrong Thing. Guess what? Night of the Living Dead's on that TV too. Same night.
The wrong Romero movie.
107 episodes, boys. We've done like 4 movies that have used Night of the Living Dead for free in their fucking movies. There's no excuse for it. You're a piece of shit filmmaker if you ever put Night of the Living Dead in your movie. Fuck you. I digress. It just makes me want to barf every time I see it.
Well,
I want to pay homage to George Romero. Yeah. How about pay homage with him with one of his movies where his family gets some royalties, you asshole?
Yeah, but for the non-horror people...
He's Fred Durst. He's got Limp Bizkit money.
Yeah, but if you're trying to make a point to non-horror movies, Night of the Living Dead is the most iconic.
No, it's not. Dawn of the Dead. So much better visual...
And here comes the horror.
No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not Moose. I'm going to move on. I'm not Moose.
He's totally going back to the Night of the Living Dead here in a second.
Just use another Romero movie if you want to pay homage.
In
Don't
5, 4.
Because it's free.
Yeah, it's free, and you're an asshole for using it.
It's only going to get worse in the future.
I see a lot of filmmakers
you know
that actually knew George Romero, and they use that shit for free. And it's like, God damn, don't be a dickhead. Go out in a fucking cemetery with a camcorder, shoot some zombies, make it black and white, put on the TV yourself. Lazy asses. Anywho, the next morning, Moose is woken up by Hunter's cell phone. He's still sitting next to the dude as the sun comes in.
I actually like this part.
No, dude. There's 2 moments here with Hunter where, tension-wise, one, when he's taking a selfie with the passed out Hunter, he drops his phone on Hunter's chest, and Hunter kind of like, oh, can you imagine that? And then the next morning, Hunter's self-alarm goes off, and Moose wakes up, and he's like, oh, shit, I'm still here. So he grabs his backpack and runs. Dude, that was...
I like those touches. I like those 2 touches.
You can put yourself in Moose's shoes, and you're caught if you don't...
I did like those 2 moments.
They were okay. I'll give it that. There was also another where Hunter was trying on his blazer, talking to his agent when he was like, I should probably tell you something. I kissed Dora again.
Again.
And like the agent's like, why'd you do that? Because I'm an idiot. And she had a rough day, and I thought me making out with her would take all her troubles away. But while he's talking, you see Moose in silhouette kind of zip across the background. That was a nice shot too.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say all negative stuff about it.
There's a couple things.
How are you enjoying the 300 Connecticut?
I am liking it. There's a bit of a breadiness to it, but there's still like I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like a rustic earthiness to it. It's not like a total Nicaraguan mineral earthiness to it, but it's just kind of I don't know. It's kind of like a dry earthiness to it.
Could that be the Peruvian tobacco?
Is that what it is?
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
I find Peruvian usually has more of a kind of a herbal spice component to it, but
I'm not getting a lot of spice off of this.
I agree with Tut. I mean, there's the light breadiness, not much spice or pepper.
no, not in the retro hill at all.
Yeah.
It's a very light tingle on the nose, nothing crazy, but man, there's definite bread on that draw.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would still classify that as more like the Nicaraguan mineral.
I will say this: the stout's starting to overpower it quite a bit.
We have 1 million different beers if you would like to change gears. Let me know when you're out.
Because one of the things, like with the Desert Rose, the bump up in presence fought off the beer quite nicely.
It did.
This one's a bit more downplayed. It's real dry. It's got that nice bread, that dry breadness to it, and
It also has a nice cedar component. I'm getting.
to me, it's not a heavy. It's not a heavy enough or distinct enough cedar to where it's fighting off that sugar from the beer.
Cedar and breadiness. I'm with you on that with a very mild retro hail, which is kind of refreshing. Usually you're pepper, black pepper, white pepper, jalapeno. No, it's actually got a very mild retro.
I think this is sitting more into that traditional Connecticut profile.
This is all the palate. It's all cedar, and
Yeah.
it's nice. The construction's good so far. I'll come back to it. Okay. We cut to Hunter and Danny / Tanner driving around in Hunter's BMW. Dad asked, son, you want to listen to a little Limp Bizkit? You like Limp Bizkit?
And now it all makes sense.
I used to listen to this back in the day. This shit is hot. Oh my God, that is nice. That is nice.
That makes sense.
What? Can I use your line?
Yeah.
What the fuck? A Limp Bizkit commercial dropped right in there by the lead singer of Limp Bizkit himself. I feel sorry for myself for having listened to this. I really felt sorry for little Danny Tanner listening to this song. This kid didn't deserve to listen to Limp Bizkit. He's just on set. He didn't deserve this. He came at a time after Limp Bizkit. He thought we extinguished that threat. He never would have to listen to Limp Bizkit, and then here we go.
I thought
Really, I was hoping more for the
You didn't
behind
know this
the
movie is directed by the lead singer. Did you find this scene odd?
I thought that this was an early career director trying to find some music that hasn't been used before and trying to do like some sort of 90s like embarrassing dad music, but he didn't want to go too traditional. They wanted to.
So you thought it was a goof?
I thought that they were wanting to try to be a little bit
You
weird
thought it was
with
no,
it.
That's awesome, because if you didn't know that Fred Durst directed this, you thought he was goofing it.
I thought he was kind
like
of goofing
a dad
it.
trying to be cool in 2019, and he's playing the most uncool music.
Yeah.
Oh, this shit is hot. I used to listen to this. No,
Totally did.
this was the director saying this shit is hot. I'm putting this shit in here.
I was really hoping
It
for
is-
the. They would never show it, but it's like a behind the scenes thing where the kids often they're like, so what is Limp Bizkit?
Can
You
you
see him?
imagine?
It's my band.
Can you imagine in a Rob Zombie directed movie if a character was like, "Hey, You want to listen to some Rob Zombie? This shit is fire. This shit is on. And I hate Rob Zombie movies.
No, it's even more. It's like just one of the songs starts playing on like a radio in the background. You hear something. Hey man, turn that up. It's my favorite song. Fucking jackasses.
But they actually call it out by name like 3 times. You don't like the biscuit? The biscuit is the shit. Oh my God, I used to love Limp Bizkit. This Limp Bizkit is fire.
That's why I thought that they were kind of goofing.
People should really revisit Limp Bizkit on iTunes. Download the whole catalog, son. This shit is amazing. No, what the hell?
The only thing missing was Danny going, man, this is so awesome. I'm going to tell my friends about this.
I'm going to tell all my friends about Limp Bizkit, Dad. Thanks, Dad. This is the first... Our talk about Limp Bizkit was the first I've ever felt close to you. Limp Bizkit brought us together, Dad.
Oh, Danny Tanner.
That's
you know
I
do this for you.
That's what the biscuit does.
I bet Dora was like, I wish he had Limp Bizkits. Would have made my 18 months working for this asshole a little more bearable.
Why couldn't she have been on her last breath? At least I don't have to listen to the Limp Bizkit.
At what
I was about to say because she can't, because she's still dead in the front yard.
Hey, she's laying there with her head split. I'm like, at least I don't have to listen to Limp Bizkit anymore.
And apparently they I guess it's in the backyard maybe.
I just can't believe this passed the editing room.
Well,
it's because he's editing.
Are you sure you want this 2-minute thing about your band?
Hey,
fuck yeah.
Maybe Durst is into Scientology as well, and this was funded by Scientology.
Maybe it was a 5-minute scene driving around listening to Limp Bizkit, and he agreed to cut it down to...
It was like the Miami Vice of Limp Bizkit.
I think you're right. I think there was like a whole longer scene where they're just...
Him and Danny drove around for 5 minutes, and Fred agreed, you know what, this only needs to be about 2 minutes.
All right. We'll compromise.
We should just take it out altogether. No. Let's just let's get the
compromise is 2 minutes of Limp Bizkit right here.
I
right
realized
now.
I just said a few nice things about this movie right before this. This totally wipes that shit out. So luckily their car ride is cut short as Hunter sees Moose walking up ahead along the side of the road.
But he apparently didn't see Dora.
Hits the gas and stops just short of running Moose flat over. Brakes right in front of his ass. Which he's walking home from sleeping with Hunter all night.
What happened to his moped?
Hunter jumps out of the car and starts shaking Moose's shoulders violently, telling him, listen, you stuttering fuck. If you want to live to see tomorrow, you stay away from me and my son, or else I'll shove my Remington shotgun so far up your ass, you'll be shitting bullets and blood for the rest of your life.
It's very specific on the model.
Did you get the message clear, Yax? I did.
I'm on Team Hunter right here.
And... to little Danny, he seemed to get it. He's sitting there emotionless watching this all go down. He's got very little expression on his face.
Well, that's just because he had to listen to Limp Bizkit.
I was going to say, I think he was just happy that he wouldn't have to listen to Limp Bizkit anymore. There's a deleted scene where Dad gets back in. You want to listen to some Korn? That's when little Danny puts the fucking his private school tie around his neck.
Dad, if I listen to Limp Bizkit, I'm going to be shitting
puts
bullets
his private
and blood.
school necktie in the window and rolls it up. Fucking
but you don't want to hear
Korn,
about that anymore.
Limp Bizkit. Give me a break. Anyway. We can all agree that's terrible music.
It is.
It is. Unless it's the intro to The Undertaker on a Harley Davidson. Dead man
Again,
walking.
I bought the chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water. I admitted it. You know what? Maybe I'll throw that in with one of the prizes.
There's nothing.
You're going to get a Southern Draw beanie and Limp Bizkits, the chocolate starfish, and the hot dog flavored water CD autographed by Matt Cade.
Robert Holt's like, no, you bastard.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. You know what? We're going to throw in some Creed CDs, too. Let's just get it all out there. Yak Boy, give me your Creed CDs.
I don't have any.
Do you want my Linkin Parks?
Yes. Every beanie comes with a horrible CD.
I'm beginning to have physical discomfort.
Autographed by the Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
Sharing our shame.
With this 64-ounce drinking thing, I hope you like Third Eye Blind. Because you're getting it. Actually, they weren't in that group.
I like Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, they had some decent songs. After a little animated artsy transition sequence, that came out of nowhere. Where we
What
see
was that? I don't know.
towards the end
Right,
they start throwing in these hand painted kind of digital artsy transitions.
And the
I
music.
got a theory.
Oh God.
Fill time. It's only a 88 something.
I got a theory.
Uh-oh.
I can't voice it right now.
Okay.
No, man.
Let me know when you can.
It's at the very end that I can voice it.
It comes out of nowhere, this little animated artsy transition sequence where we see a Payne Moosey. We cut from that to a Payne Moosey as he tries to put on a good show for the tourists with his little bobby thing, but his mind is clearly preoccupied. He had a rough day with Hunter.
I have to go ahead and say it. Oh, I don't have to go and say it, but I will go ahead and say it.
Sure, why not?
You ever watch the movie Ginger Snaps? It was one of the sequels.
It was a werewolf movie.
It was a werewolf movie. It was one of the sequels where one of the chicks gets out, escapes, and puts in
a female werewolf movie.
Right, and gets put in a mental institution.
Okay.
And there was a younger girl there who was like a comic book fanatic, drew a lot. That's where these little flashbacks are coming in, and that's where these little side deals are coming in. It was very reminiscent of the Ginger Snap movie, and just keep that in mind going forward with Leah. I think Durst watched Ginger Snaps and got
a
little influenced here.
Did we check?
I think Moose is going to be the pet werewolf.
Did we check the Ginger Snap soundtrack to see if there's any Limp Bizkit
Whoa,
songs?
so you think Leah
orchestrating it
knows she's planting Moose in these positions to do these things as much as she says she's against them because she likes to step back and watch him do what he's doing as kind of a puppet master?
And I think that she's living vicariously through Moose, and also
she's safely behind her camera lens while he's out there actually engaging with these celebrities in a very hardcore manner.
Right. He's engaging with the celebritards.
I think you're giving this movie way too much depth.
I could be, but I couldn't help noticing the similarities. I think it's a shallow representation, but knowing that it's Fred Durst, maybe the shallow representation makes sense.
Limp Bizkit was shallow.
I think it's simply Tut filling in the gaps.
It could be.
There's gaps that need to be filled, and I think he's trying his best. Yeah, no, it's not no subtext in here.
Hey, I just got through of English composition too.
There's a great line, and I think I've referenced it before on the show, where Steve Sanders on 90210, Ian Ziering, is talking to this chick, and she's like, "So what you're saying is this?" And he looks over to his friends, he's like, "Would somebody please tell this chick I'm not deep enough for subtext?" You're really, really looking for shit that ain't there, man.
I don't.
She is a surface level character that has no depth and was never given any depth. She is not pulling his strings. She is not intentionally giving him the star map app. If she was, she'd be there taking pictures of these confrontations.
But think of it as a writer. I think if you're either a new writer or a bad writer, you're trying to create this subtext, and so you kind of create these layers. And I think it's just a poorly created layer that they actually tried to do.
You also wrote a song called Nookie about cookies, and
that's why I said bad writing in there as well as new writing.
Well, he did write this with Beakerman. We don't know what Beakerman's backstory is.
It's apparently the Muppets.
Such assholes. On the way home, Moose's moped has a serious malfunction. Like half of it just blows up. That sends him flying off it, tumbling over a curb. Was I the only one that laughed pretty hard at that?
Nah, I
There's clearly a stunt man with the moose wig.
Moose wig.
But, so he walks back to his apartment where he has an imaginary and very angry conversation with Mr. Dunbar, or as he calls him, Mr. Dummy Bar.
Dummy Bar.
In the mirror in his bathroom. "Oh, you're something and I'm nothing? Well, Mr. Dummy Bar, you haven't made the best choices. Ghost Train was not a good movie. And who stuck by you? I did. This is a nightmare. This is a freaking nightmare." Dude, he's starting to crumble, boys.
Everything crumbles.
Thank you, Leah.
Hey,
he reached into the cookie jar, but eventually all cookies crumble. The only reason I think maybe you were onto something with the Leah thing is those voiceovers. Why else did they give her the voiceover when she's clearly made just as many bad choices as Moose. There might be something in there.
Well,
I'm not going to give Fred Durst that credit. Though.
At least we can say with that, when
Oh,
we
yeah.
first see her, she wasn't
That's
like
pure Beakerman.
She wasn't giving Moose like everyone else calls him Moose, but she gives him the nickname, "Hey, Cookie, what's going on?"
She called him Cookie?
No, I'm just saying. Thank
Oh.
God she didn't. Then there would be subtext that we don't need. Oh,
His
now he's
face,
referencing his own songs.
His face. If Moose is playing Limp Bizkit in his apartment, oh my God. His face is red and puffy. He's breathing heavy. He's completely covered in sweat as he takes all of his Hunter Dunbar memorabilia outside and sets it on fire,
Good job,
including
John.
the vest.
Good job, John.
There's no turning back now. Oh, and he starts stabbing dolls in his bed with a sharpened spoon.
Okay,
So there's
That's
that. That didn't
that's not
really.
good.
Don't know where that came from. I guess that there's no turning back. He's full blown crazy. Leah comes by to check on him because, get this, Moose has been broadcasting all this shit on social media. Remember when he kissed Hunter unconscious? He posted that shit on Facebook. Why not? But I think it's fortuitous. Leah's his only follower. Like, I think he's not friends with many people, so nobody else saw it. But she's warning him, like, you can't do this. This is crazy.
She's
Also,
protecting
he's going
her
to be at his
investment.
house tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m.
She tells him to give her his phone, but before you get into some trouble with the police. But he refuses. He shoves her against the wall, and he grabs his phone, he blocks her from his social media. You're blocked. Where's her voiceover now telling everyone how this was partially all her fault? Oh, she doesn't do a voiceover now. How convenient. That would have been the time. You know, I couldn't help but feel a little bit responsible for... No, she doesn't do that voiceover.
Well, at least it didn't go old school noir in the City of Angels.
In the City of Angels, Moose was out of his element.
His moped blew up like a Cuban cigar on holiday. No, there's nothing at all.
Like a cheap cigar from a Laurel and Hardy museum.
Now, Leah's not that articulate in her voiceovers. Although, Tut like the cookie jar analogy. Did anybody need a beer? Yes. What do you
Yes.
want? Do you
I
want
will take another stout,
another
please.
stout? You're sticking with it, huh?
Why do you say that like it's...
No,
Oh, really?
No, I just thought you might want to...
It's a very good art form in beer.
It is.
I like it.
It is. I'm actually going to shift gears to the... Let's see what this Connecticut has against the Golden Drock.
Yeah, this is not going to be a good night.
We have so many beers we got to get. We have just a fridge full of old beers from old shows.
I know, but this is a horrible ass movie. Let's get through it. And this is just going to prolong my misery.
What, me drinking Golden Drocks? What was the deal with this beer? We liked it.
Yeah, we did.
It was at least 10%, right?
It is.
Yeah, right. After another little animated artsy transition showing a cartoon moose in a pool of blood, it was kind
What
of
is going on with these things?
we cut to Hunter's bedroom where he has a white rag shoved in his mouth and all his limbs are tied to the bed. He looks
What
down
kind
on
of
the
sleeping pills is this man taking?
Good ones.
good shit. Ben Affleck style.
Space vampire money can afford everything.
Really think that was a bad call. He looks down on the ground where Moose is lying in a pool of blood under his head, just like the cartoon. You stupid fucking stalker. He thinks he's dead. He thinks he committed suicide. He starts screaming for help. But then Moose pops up laughing his ass off. You've been jigsawed. Game over. He was like Saw movies. He was playing dead like Jigsaw. Hunter struggles with the ropes and screams some more as
I
Moose...
actually thought that this was going to be a shout out to Stephen King. He did like a psychological terror where this dude ties his wife up to the bed, has a heart attack.
Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game. I thought that they were kind of going there, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of a heady. I'm
Subtext.
kind of seeing what's going there.
Moose pulls out a dildo, like, do stuff to...
But then, But then when he popped up, I was like, oh, okay, that's what
It was a
doing.
Saw
I
reference.
actually kind of like this little scene.
He's a horror movie fan. As Moose leaves the bedroom, he pops up and he walks out. He walks right back in wearing a Jason Voorhees hockey mask and dark blue jumpsuit. Dude, Hunter's like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Moose looms over the bed wielding a giant machete, and he starts stabbing Hunter repeatedly in the chest with it. He's screaming out, but it's a fake knife. It's retracting every time it hits him in the thing. And Moose starts dancing around the bedroom because he got Hunter so scared. I did it. I fooled Hunter Dunbar. I'm such a good actor. Because that's his whole thing when he's looking in the mirror. Anybody can do what you do. You're just pretending. So he's like proud of himself that he actually scared the expert.
I can kind of see it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the fake knife did actually puncture Hunter a little bit and draw some blood. So Moose touches the cut in his finger and licks it. Moose tells Hunter, I love you, I love you. He says it like 3 times. I love you so much. I've seen all your movies. All I want is for you to stop being so mean to me. Oh, and then for his final performance, he channels Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs as he dumps gasoline all over the bed as the actor pleads for his life to be spared. But Moose explains, it's just water. I would never hurt you, Hunter. I would never burn your nice house down. Moose came with like an endless bag of tricks, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He put like a whole bunch of shit together. I know.
Thought of everything.
So Hunter finally grows a brain and tries a different approach than screaming and being
a dick.
and being a dick with his captor. He apologizes for being so mean to Moose. I love this moment with Moose. You're seriously the meanest person I've ever met in my life. He is really mean. Like, obviously, Moose has crossed some lines, but even when he didn't, when he was just like an awkward fan, I mean, this guy's a dick.
Yes, but
He
I was like, how are you saying this is the meanest guy compared to
Todd the God?
Yeah.
Todd, yeah, I forgot about Todd.
I mean-
we're Bill Paxton's son. He tried to make him blow him.
Slim.
Slim. Hunter says, you know what, man, I'll autograph anything you want. But Moose isn't buying it. In fact, Moose seems to be growing angrier by the second until Hunter tells him that, he tells Moose, you hold all the power in this relationship, man. You're a fan. Without you, I'm nothing. He never read that letter. He said that shit on his own. Hearing his own thoughts spoken out loud by Hunter throws Moose for a loop. I'm hungry. He's discombobulated. I got to get something to eat. So he goes back downstairs. Remember the first time he broke into Hunter's house? He was very disappointed in the food selection, and he found like a jar of preserves that he kind of ate with his finger. He goes down there. There's still nothing good in the fridge, so he's eating these preserves. Leah's voiceover. All right, I'm going to keep talking about her damn voiceover. Leah's voiceover pops in to tell us that Moose hasn't just crossed a line. He's nuked the line. Thanks, Leah. We didn't see that in John Travolta's fucking well-nuanced performance. We need you to tell us that he's gone too far. He's down there eating preserves while the guy's tied up, covered in gasoline. Thanks, Leah. I never would have gotten the context of what's going on here without your valuable insight. Idiot. And as Moose eats out of the jar of preserves in the kitchen, he revisits the idyllic fantasy from the book signing where the lights go down and Hunter is signing books only to him and his very enthusiastic, Moose, come here. I love you. I don't think there's a gay thing in this movie. It could be very well made played that way. He fantasizes about Hunter telling him he loves him. In a minute, we're going to see him kind of laying in his chest. He's already told him he loves him several times. I'm going to say this is pure fandom love.
Yeah.
I never got a sexual vibe from Moose any which way, including Moose.
If anything, I could think
Including Moose.
Because of
Moose?
Any which way but Moose.
Because of Moose, I if anything, it was paternal. I don't see it as sexual at all.
No, I never got that either. Well, Moose goes back upstairs to scold Hunter for not raising Danny right. Tanner. There's no ice cream in the house. Your son's going to always resent you for that.
Like Moose resents his parents.
Well, his parents bought him ice cream while she was screwing the milkman behind his back. Are you sure you don't want to keep it down while I'm banging you on the couch? It's just Moosey. He's watching Night of the Living Dead. He'll be fine. We get it. He had a bad childhood. Hunter then tells him, you know what, I'll go buy some ice cream right now if you untie me, but that doesn't work. He tried. So Hunter shifts gears once again and tells Moose, I know I come across as mean, man, and angry, but actually I'm just scared. Much like you, Moose, I bet you're scared right now. I am too. Not only will I not call the police, he promises, he swears, but I will sign anything you want for the rest of our lives. This appeals to Moose because everything autographed on eBay is fake, and this stuff would be personalized to Moose from Hunter. Anything else? Moose asks, like, if I let you go, are you going to give me anything else? Yeah, just don't hurt my kid. Oh boy, this backfires. Sets Moose off on a tear. He jumps off the bed, shouting at Hunter, I would never hurt Danny. I would never, ever hurt your son. Why would you even say that? Finally, an exhausted Hunter gives up on the deal making. He's bad at it. And gets Moose to agree to try a technique that all actors do called visualization.
And Danny or Moose wants to be an actor?
Well, I think he just enjoys doing something like, I want you to do this with me.
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of gets off on. He gets Moose to relax his shoulder. His shoulders have been slumped forward this whole movie. He gets him to actually lower his shoulders a little bit and use his vast imagination to picture them eating dinner together at a famous steakhouse. Moose has one in mind, like Morton's
Sizzler.
it was like Morton's or it was like a Hollywood Boulevard steakhouse. Sure, that one. And then we'll come back to my house on the big HD TV and watch some of my action flicks while eating strawberry ice cream. Oh man, Moose is. We know he's
Hunter.
visualizing because everything goes blue.
Everything.
Fred Durst in the editing booth. What if we hit the blue button on that?
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good. Or was it sepia? It was something. The visualization technique
For
works.
your consideration.
No, nobody's considering Fred Durst or the editor. Travolta deserves it. He'll never get it, but he deserves it. The visualization technique works as Moose crawls into bed with Hunter and puts his head on his chest before slowly, he's seeing it. They're eating ice cream together. They're watching the action movies together. So Moose slowly rises up and starts undoing the ropes from his wrists. Within seconds, Hunter reaches behind the headboard, grabs his Remington shotgun, and blows the fingers on Moose's right hand clean off.
Boom.
Cody style.
No, Cody would have blown his skull in half. Or his chest open. He ain't shooting his hand.
Center mass.
Right?
Oh, he's
I'm
got
just
one
saying,
hand tied
I
up,
was like,
so-
I could understand the, like,
You tortured me, I'm torturing you?
where's your gun? Where isn't a gun? Right here, there's a gun. Under the table, there's a gun.
But did you guys initially think if you're tied up and you're pretty sure this guy's going to kill you, why wouldn't you shoot him right in the heart?
Well, maybe he missed.
I think he's a sadistic. He's got a bunch of issues and he wants to torment this guy. Is what I think they were trying to do.
I just thought he missed.
He blows off all his fingers on his right hand. Hunter then grabs a huge Rambo knife from his nightstand and starts cutting free of his other restraints.
Cody style.
That's completely normal. I understood that.
Hunter kicks the crawling wounded Moose down the flight of stairs from the upstairs and then keeps kicking the shit out of him downstairs. You can't leave now, Moose. I'm nothing without you. He shoots Moose one more time. And then with no more shells in the Remington, he ditches the gun and stabs Moose hard. Here's the thing. It was so dark downstairs. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he stabbed him in the face or in the chest, but he comes down hard.
Is the eye?
I think it was the.
Was
I
the
think
eye.
he
It
like
was
hit his
supposed
eye.
to be the eye because we see that.
But I'm like,
But if he stabbed that knife in that dude's eye, it would have gone into his brain.
It should
Right.
have, and that's what. It was definitely the eye.
But-
Because I watched
No, it
this
was.
twice.
And at the end, he has a knife wound in his eye. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say something nice about this movie.
What?
I loved that this confrontation was so dark I couldn't tell what was happening.
Right.
Because it was realistic. This is in his house at 2 a.m. There's no lights on. I liked that I couldn't make out exactly what was happening. I liked that the only light I was seemingly getting was the light from the windows, from the moonlight.
Yeah.
It looked real. It looked dark. It didn't look like a cinematographer lit a downstairs to be like it's not lit but it's lit.
Yeah.
No, it was realistic. And I liked that I couldn't tell where he hit him with that knife.
Yeah.
But if he dug that fucking Rambo knife into his eyeball, he's dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I said something nice.
Yeah.
How about that? Travolta's moose is crying out in pain, and it's so sad.
It actually is.
We spent an hour with this guy, and he's not all there, so his pain is not all justified. It's sad, and Travolta is crying so sad and whimpering. It's pathetic, and you feel for the guy. He's in the wrong, but you feel. I mean, he's in so much fucking pain. Here's how much pain he's in. Even hard-ass Hunter drops to the floor deflated by, like, he has emotions that he doesn't know.
I didn't understand this.
How could you look at this poor dude screaming in pain and not be like, take a pause? But his pause drops him on his ass and like,
Call the cops.
everyone else but him would. His triumphant stance where I just killed this fucker, I'm about to kill this fucker, devolves into this moment of pity. Even
I don't mind. I don't
even
mind
he
this
can't wrap
because
his head around why he's not calling the cops, why he's not finishing him off.
Days ago is when the cops would have been called.
Yeah, especially for the stinking body of Dora that's out there in the yard.
I mean, she's been out there now. What is this now? 2-3 days?
At least 3 days or 2 days.
We don't know.
At least 2 days.
Because of poor editing, it could have been 1 day or 2 days.
I think it was at least 2 days.
And also, that gardener is terrible because he can't even find a dead body on the property.
But I will
she's
say,
not exploring anything anymore, right?
But I will say this. It's a lot of times, and even I do it. It's like, well, I'd shoot that son bitch in the face, and I'd kill that motherfucker. I'd kill him so damn bad. But then when you're actually sitting there and you're going to kill the person, I can understand Hunter taking a step back. I mean, he's not a killer. He's not a fucking merc. He's not.
No, but
trained.
also the person he's going to kill is clearly special.
Also,
Yeah,
it's
but he is in his house, and he did just tie him up.
Also, it's California. I don't think they have a stand your ground law or a castle law.
So.
But I think he sees this poor bastard crying and whimpering, and I actually thought this was one of the few real moments in the movie.
I did too. And that's what I was trying
Where
to
this
say.
badass actor who's got these knives and these guns, he's like, I'll put my Remington up your ass. He actually sees a wounded, special person, a human being crying and whimpering, and it drops him.
And it's mournful crying. It's not.
Dude,
It's,
Travolta, if you didn't have Travolta selling that like he did, if you had another actor there, it wouldn't have worked.
I agree with that.
Travolta is so good in this, it makes this, all fucking adrenaline.
And it was. And this scene was. It wasn't believable that he didn't call the cops. It wasn't believable that he just let Travolta fucking go. That made no fucking sense whatsoever. But it is believable that he didn't pull the trigger.
It is believable when he drops on his ass and has that moment. And dude, Devin Sawa sells that moment where he's just kind of like snaps out of the I'm kicking the shit out of this.
Am I a killer?
Am I a killer?
That's the thought
especially to a
process
guy
going.
who's clearly not. He's whimpering like a wounded animal, not like a wounded person.
Right. At this
What
point,
am I
it's
doing
like
here?
it's like, well, it's tough because again, he did have this motherfucker tied up into his bed. But at the same time, it's like killing a wounded animal.
I thought in a very cheesy, superficial everything movie, this was an actual real moment that didn't deserve this movie. Or it superseded the movie.
Yeah, I
This
get
scene was.
I get you.
This moment was too good for this movie. Well, Hunter also drops the giant knife to the floor next to Moose, which having appeared in so many horror films, you think he would know not to do that. But remember, there was a moment where Moose said, "It's like you never watched any horror films." So I thought when he dropped the knife next to the killer, that was kind of like... Because there's a couple moments here where you didn't know if Moose would be Michael Myers and come back.
Yeah.
And when he drops the knife... Oh, yeah, Moose said he acts like he's never watched. Like, is Moose going to grab... I thought there was a couple little things that were kind of... This little scene has a lot going on. Then, in a truly shocking twist... Hunter grabs a dish towel from the kitchen, helps Moose to his feet, where Hunter wraps his hand with all the fingers missing up. He wraps up his stump, opens the kitchen door, and gently pushes Moose outside, closing the door behind him. I didn't know at this point, was that him? He promised not to call the cops. I'm keeping my promise. Was that
no
him
sense.
honestly watching him whimper on the ground? He felt sorry for him. And like, I could not, in a fathomable, any sense of the real world, think of why he would do that. Or push him out, but then call the cops. There's no world where he won't pick up the phone and call the cops.
There's not. It's horrible. It's horrible writing. It's a horrible script at this point. And it makes no sense. Makes no sense. There's no motivation that would not have this dude call the cops.
No. You either kill him and you call the cops, say I killed an intruder, or you let him go,
believable.
or you let him go and be like a guy just. But either way, you're calling the fucking cops.
Yes.
There's no. This guy Hunter is a pretty cut and dry Hollywood. You think Matt Damon? Somebody breaks into Ben Affleck's house and this happens. He's not calling the cops. No. You know what? I hope he learns from this. No, of course not. Speaking of learning from, you guys learn anything about the 300 Connecticut?
No, I'm still getting
It's
that.
smooth.
I'm
It's
still
really
getting
smooth.
that heavy bread cigar or that heavy breadiness to it. It's very dry taste to it. I really do appreciate it a lot.
It's got a great smoke profile.
It's more of that traditional Connecticut style. It's got a little bit more of a presence to it than a lot of Connecticut's do have to it. That I do appreciate to it. But it is more of a traditional. It's definitely not that Desert Rose amped up Connecticut.
No, it's not, but it is, in contrary to the Desert Rose, there is a shitload of spice on the retro. Are you getting that?
Yes.
It's so much more pepper on the retro.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the breadiness very strong.
Yeah.
A slight hint of sweetness, more sugary,
No.
but I mean really, really slight.
Huh.
But
It's good. It's a really good, but let's talk price point real quick.
Actually, I appreciate this cigar for the flavor profile that it's trying to get into. I really like this space. It's not the powerhouse. It's not this is Nicaragua.
It's not, but it's also not. We're doing something new. It's just a straight ahead Connecticut wrap cigar. Like I said, it's USA Connecticut wrapper, Peru binder, all Nicaraguan filler. It's fairly straight ahead blend wise. But man,
I hesitate to
I
say
love
that,
spice on the nose and smooth creaminess on the draw.
I hate to say this because I don't know if it's taken in a bad way or not. But this cigar is not pretentious. It's not trying to be just, the most whiz-out cigar.
No.
And not your father Connecticut and not your all this.
Straight up.
I love that. I appreciate that.
Price point.
Price point, man, it's a 300 hands. You got a little bit charities. Let's bump that shit up a little bit. $10.25.
$9.
$6.39.
Oh,
Get this. It gets better. Again, Famous Smoke Shop currently has them on sale for $63.90 for bundle 10. So that's $63.90 down to $57.99. That's what they're on sale for. $57.99.
get two of them.
So that's $5.79
Yeah.
a stick. You're thinking what I'm thinking. If you order 2 bundles of 10, apply promo code TNCC20, that will get you this cigar in your house $4.79 a stick.
Done.
Insanity.
Done. I'm doing it tomorrow.
$4.79 a stick for 20 of these.
When I wake up in my foggy haze, I am going straight to a famous smoke shop. I'm going to get.
Don't forget
two
to
of
click
these.
on the Tuesday Night Cigar
Going-
Club banner.
There you go. And then I'm applying that fucking code, and I'm getting this for $4 a stick.
This would be great with coffee.
Oh yes.
This would be great with IPA, a Pilsner. I know we're in stout weather in our short sleeves. But, yeah, I mean, this is about half the price.
Yeah, you throw this with a Guinness cream style stout. Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, $4.79, you can get these for 20 of them tomorrow.
Done.
And you're helping charity.
Done.
You guys have stuck with the stouts.
Yeah.
I am now drinking the
Golden Drop.
Golden Drock, and it's going very well with the Connecticut, actually. Or maybe, I don't know. I really liked the Golden Drock when we did it on, was that Banana Splits?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's supposed to have notes of banana, which it didn't have. But it had a lot of alcohol, which got us through the Banana Splits. Which in itself is a good pairing.
Yes. Yes.
Pairing experts.
Much like this movie, you need a lot of alcohol to get through it.
You only had to watch it once. You got to choose yours. Well, get this.
I feel guilty about laughing.
This
at that scene.
ending has a lot going on, which we have a lot to talk about because I watch a lot of Lifetime movie endings, which are crazy and absurd. This thing blows those things out of the water as far as absurdity.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a real movie.
Yep.
John Travolta's in this thing.
Yep.
Okay. So Leah finds Moose stumbling down Sunset Boulevard where tourists are taking photos with him, thinking that with his blue jumpsuit, his stabbed-in eye, and bloody chopped-off hand, he's a street performer doing a Michael Myers impression. Get us a picture, man. You're all bloody. Hollywood, yeah.
This is the best special effects I've ever seen.
God,
man.
the blood looks so real. He's just hanging on to it, clinging to life. Leah helps Moose make the long trip back to his place. She has a car. They could have just gotten her car and gone, but maybe that goes with Tut's thing. She's got some other things going on.
I'm telling you, this whole scene is what triggered it. This scene right here.
Okay. Meanwhile, while Leah helps Moose get back to his apartment, a blood-covered hunter, still sitting on the floor from all this, answers the doorbell to an army of police who show up to arrest him for the murder of Dora, the housekeeper.
It makes no sense.
Guess who's with him? Julio, his gardener, who
It makes no sense.
I guess found Dora. And when the cops see Hunter covered in blood, 2 + 2 = 4. Tut, you're our math guy. 2 + 2. Does any of this add up?
No, none of it adds up. It's not his
doesn't.
blood. It's not Dora's blood. I mean, come
They're going to-
on.
The
All he
movie
has to
ends.
Go upstairs and see the ropes that I was tied up with.
The movie ends.
See the shotgun blast where in the.
This is one of the craziest endings we've ever done because the movie ends. First of all, he doesn't fight it. You don't see him like, I don't do it. He calmly gets in the police car and looks at the back with some pretty lights.
Look.
It's a shitty wrap up.
Look.
It's an insane wrap up. He doesn't like what the fuck. I didn't kill Dora. He doesn't fight it. He doesn't scream. He's like, I'm going to my life in prison now.
It's a Ginger Snaps
No,
ending.
no, he's not.
Maybe it's like,
He's-
you know what?
He calmly explained to them, look,
I was
my
mean to my-
space vampire money is going to pay for a really good lawyer, and all of this is going to get cleared up. All right? No problem.
That's actually what you see off the scene. That was the cut.
Here's my
footage.
problem.
Just saying.
The movie played it like that was the end. He's going to go off to prison, and Moose is going to live happily ever after.
No, Moose.
But anybody with a fucking brain will
Much
tell
like-
you, all right, guess what? The next day, they do DNA tests. They realize that he was tied up there. None of the blood on him is actually Dora's blood.
Who's
It won't take 10 seconds to go down and find this Moose guy that he has a thing with, see his hands blown off,
His stabbed eye.
and a
Look.
stabbed eye.
They're going to go
plays it
down
like
and
Moose is going to go
they're
on
going to go
for
down and
eternity.
search the 5
It's the
alleys
most
in Los
bullshit
Angeles.
ending. It's the most bullshit ending of any movie we've ever done.
They're gonna come across Todd the God, and then they're gonna be like, "We're trying to find some guy who's. Oh, you're talking about Moose? I'll take you right to him. That guy's crazy. He choked me."
I've never seen a film
much like Ginger Snaps. She shoves Moose down and below the stairs. That's her werewolf now. It's all wrapped up.
I've never seen a movie give you such a bullshit temporary ending. Like, hey, guess what? This is how it ends.
It was
Even
horrible.
though you know the next day this is all going to unravel and the movie will end in a totally different way because of logic and just common sense. It was crazy. It was stupid.
It was horrible.
It was horrible.
It was bad writing.
Moose is going to prison. He's going to be freed. He's a Hollywood actor who, but despite not doing Hollywood movies, he is a Hollywood actor.
Space Vampires was totally a Hollywood movie, man. It was a blockbuster.
What a fucking weird ending
To a weird
I don't
movie.
to a weird
know
movie.
what.
I mentioned Lifetime movies earlier. I watch a shitload of them. On a weekly basis, I watch at least 2 just as comfort. They're my comfort food. You turn on a Lifetime movie, The Wrong Husband, The Wrong Mistress, The Wrong Kid.
The wrong movie.
The wrong
channel.
The wrong lasagna. Wait, that was a script I wrote. Either way.
Meredith Baxter Burney, addicted to scope.
Give me the scope, Mom. I had garlic earlier. I just need to rinse my... No! Give it to me, Mom! This is basically a Lifetime movie, shot like a Lifetime movie as far as artistry and cinematography, with John fucking Travolta in it, acting his ass off. This movie doesn't deserve John Travolta. It doesn't deserve the Moose character, but they got it, so I kind of give them credit for getting it. But the only thing good about this movie is fucking John Travolta.
Yes.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
So weird.
I felt like when he took that dump and read that script, that should have been John Travolta reading the script for this movie. It's not good.
Probably was.
It's not good for him. It's not good for him. He shouldn't do this. But I'm glad he did it. Look,
Well,
we've
don't-
seen Nicolas Cage and Mandy,
Yeah.
a low-budget film where a previously $1 million box office draw strips it down to nuts and bolts and just creates a fucking character without any kind of
But there's
shell. I'm gonna just give this movie whatever this.
But we also
fucking
don't.
need.
We
But-
also don't
but-
know what happened in the creative process. We don't know I mean, it's kind of like with Terminator. I mean, Cameron was up front. He was rewriting it the day before some shoots, so you don't know what was rewritten. You don't know what John Travolta actually read versus what actually got filmed. That's what I was trying to say. So I mean, maybe there was something forward there. Obviously, I think that Travolta felt proud enough to where, I mean, Travolta's not stupid. And yet, if he's sending this out for consideration, I mean, there's something there that he liked. I mean, there's something that he's proud of.
He should be. He created a character that I'll never forget. And in 107 episodes, I've forgotten almost all the characters from our movies. They're not memorable. You asked me about name some great John Travolta performances over the last couple of years. I'll tell you, you know what? He swung for the fences with Gotti. It was mixed, but he gave it his all.
Gave it his all.
But get this: the next year, he created a one-of-a-kind character in a thriller. The thriller sucked. The script sucked. But he created a character that was completely I had never seen before, and it was all on him. He did this.
I'll go even further. The thing that I like, the thing that I love and appreciate and respect about Travolta, and it's funny because it's easy to shit on him for his beliefs, his religious beliefs, but look at what this body of work has done. We've done In the Valley of Blood, or in the Valley of Darkness.
Again, we've only done 100-something movies, and we can't remember the name of the...
That's because it was a stupid-ass title. The Western that he did.
No, I know the movie. I can't remember the name of it. In the Valley of...
That's out. That is so outside.
He was great in that.
That's so outside of his normal character.
But,
that is so outside
but
of
just
his.
like-
hang on, that is so outside of his normal character to where, like, when you said that we're going to do this, I'm like, John Travolta cannot do a western. There's no. It's so weird. We're sitting out here in the whole West.
I got my cowboy hat.
Yeah, I got my cowboy. No, but he did a good job in that. And
Just
then
give me the 6 shooters. Give me the 6 shooters.
And then he did Gotti, and it's like, you know what? I'm sitting here in the mob.
In a
It's
valley
so
of
weird.
violence.
In the Valley of Violence.
All right, so Western, Gotti, this dude. I mean, he freaking goes out. He's
I
not
forgot
a.
about Valley of Violence.
He's not
We've
a-
done 3 Travolta movies.
He's not a one-trick pony. He's not De Niro saying, "Look, I'm going to squint my eyes, and you're going to love me because I'm De Niro." He's not Pacino going, "Look out! I'm playing a new character, and this is totally out of my wheelhouse, and I do it good. Here you go, Oscars, for your consideration."
I'm an Egyptian pharaoh who likes big asses.
No,
I mean, come on.
I mean, that's crazy. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. This dude doesn't pull the Bruce Willis. Go on Netflix. There's 10 Bruce Willis movies that you didn't know existed, and every one of them, he plays Bruce Willis.
And yeah, and you forget at the moment you watch it.
Travolta is, what, 60s by now? It's got to be in the 60s.
Yeah.
Valley of Violence. He brought something totally new to that. It was a father of a bad kid. He's a bad guy, a Western bad guy.
He's the father of a bad kid who knew he was a bad kid,
but love that kid.
still a father.
Nailed that. We love that. Gotti, my God, like I said, he swung for the fences, but he never betrayed it, and he made choices.
And he could have walked through it, and he didn't.
He made choices. This movie, he created a character which I won't forget. I won't forget the name of this movie because of John Travolta. I won't forget this character because of John Travolta. Yes, you know, we brought up Scientology earlier. I know it seems goofy to us, but my God, the dude cares.
Yeah.
And he's a craftsman. Fuck yeah. John Travolta.
I'm serious. If
The
you
Fanatic. John Travolta.
I'll
Big
give it-
time
I'll,
thumbs
I'll
up.
give it a
Yes.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
And I'm like, man, if you got a project and you are lucky enough to get John Travolta on your set, you know one thing: that dude's going to bring it. I mean, he's going to perform. I
Yes.
mean, it's not. So, I mean, that's creating something. That's creating some art. That's going to be some collaboration there. That's going to be a guy who gives a crap, who's going to come up to you and be like, "What do you think of this?" And you're going to be like, "What? You're not just walking through."
And I'm
this?"
sorry, if you're Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit and you're behind the camera and you're watching the cast and crew party scene and you're watching John Travolta rub his earlobes and smell them and all that, you're like, you have to be like, thanking God. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
This dude is giving me... I knew what we were paying this guy, but he's actually like
Doing stuff.
doing shit. That was amazing. Fuck yeah. TNCC is absolutely pro John Travolta.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, and unashamedly so. I mean,
I equated, I brought up a minute ago, I equated very much to Nicolas Cage and Mandy. These guys doing lower budget films, you have the very easy option to take the check and just show up. Or you've got Nicolas Cage and Mandy, and you've got John Travolta in this, being like, you know what? I didn't get into this shit to just take a check. I got this shit to have fun and create and play and become people that I'm not. And these some of these guys in their sick, they get that. They're playing and they're having fun doing it and they're enjoying it, and that's awesome.
to me, and that's a very good distinction. John Travolta didn't need this movie. John Travolta didn't need this part.
John Travolta hasn't had to work since Swordfish, which he actually did kind of walk through. But in Broken Arrow, he kind of walked through that too. He actually did go through kind of a period where he kind of just said lines.
John Travolta. Hey, we lost a nuke.
We got to get the new kids. Crazy. But all of a sudden, these guys get in their 60s. It's like, all right, we got 10 grand. What can you do for us? I can do a lot of shit. I can do. You don't even know.
You want me to wear a bowl cut? Look, I got this bowl cut thing.
I got a wig.
with the mullet. Tell me how cool that is, a bowl cut with the mullet.
You never seen it before. I got a wig. Fuck. Awesome.
I am thankful that I watched that. I mean, it's just, you're watching a true professional do his craft. It's awesome.
It is.
Now the story was shit, but I mean,
it was a Lifetime movie. It was a very simple stalker movie that you would see on Lifetime. But you had one of our greatest treasures in American cinema that's still doing it, and all of a sudden became something different. I give the movie a half a thumb at best. I give
the movie a thumb down.
Yeah, I mean it was. I give it a half thumb because I watch these shit on Lifetime every week, but this would be the wrong fan. But he's so good in it.
He is absolutely good.
Thank you, John Travolta, for being you.
The shit part about it is that these performances go unrecognized.
And you know what? Everyone shit on Gotti too, and it's like, dude, at some point, here's the thing: John Travolta is such a unique personality. He's a movie star.
Yes,
he is the epitome of an icon. But at some point, when you're watching a movie with him and you forget it's John Travolta, when he's whimpering on the ground with his fingers blown off and he's crying, I didn't see John fucking Travolta on the ground. True. I saw Moose. That is fucking amazing.
That is absolutely.
I don't see Bruce Willis as anything but Bruce Willis. I watched the fucking 4 hours of The Irishman, and all I saw was Al Pacino be Jimmy Hoffa, but not Jimmy Hoffa, Al Pacino. Travolta actually became Moose. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Which
is really, you can tell these fuckers with their $1 million mansions and their Hollywood wives
and their space vampire money
and their space vampire money,
and
you can't even go anywhere without that.
Their legacies are solidified.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage doesn't have to act another day in his life, and he's an Oscar winner. Same with John Travolta. He never won an Oscar, but they don't have to try, but they do because of the craft.
Right.
It's amazing to see the guys that care. And it also is amazing to see how that blows the dudes that don't care out of the fucking water. And it's like, really?
Well, considering, I mean, how many hours of footage boiled down for this? But I mean, the character, he made that character, and it's the same in every scene. That was my fear start when I started watching this film. Was like, at some point he's going to break. He's going to break character. He's going to become
the only time where I thought
he's going to become Travolta.
The only time where no, he never did.
He never did.
The only time where I thought it was a bad choice was like with the antlers.
With the antlers and
here's
stuff,
Moosey. I mean, that was crazy. But he was so excited to be in that guy's house. I give it a pass. All right. Good time.
Good time.
Tut, give us some links.
All right, so if you're going to, don't go to Twitter, but if you do go to Twitter, it's at TNCCcast. But
no.
What you
they
should
can go
do,
to Twitter.
But
it's our weak link, but you can go there.
What you should do is join all the people from Syria and India and the Middle East that are subscribing to us on YouTube, and that they love us, and I thank you for it. I love all of you some bitches. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Don't call them that.
Tuesday Night Cigar Club. I did. Also, join us on Facebook, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. See all Cade's wonderful Facebook stories. Same thing with the Instagrams. Do the TNCC _podcast. And by the way, isn't there some like trivia or something like that? You know, the second round.
Trivia question number 2. I'm glad you asked, Hut. Here it is, folks. This is for either the giant 64-ounce drinking thing or the ashtray. We'll be the judge of who gets this. Here you go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm curious if you guys can answer this. Don't answer it, though. We want them to do a little bit of homework. I answered the last one for them. This one is all on them.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Here we
Southern Draw has been in business for 5 years.
5 years.
So have we.
So have we.
End of the year lists. TNCC. We've done, I don't think we did one our first year, but I think we actually did. We've got 5 end of the year lists.
5.
Not including this year.
Not including this year.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18. How many times has Southern Draw appeared on our end of the year lists?
Oh my goodness. You gotta do some homework.
You've got to send us a direct message on Facebook or Instagram telling us how many. You don't tell us what cigars or what placings. All you have to say is Southern Draws appeared on your end of the year list this many times. It's a simple 1 or 2 numerical answer. It'd be weird if they appeared on
10
times in 4 years. That's like 25% of our list was Southern Draw. No. Send us a direct message on Instagram or Facebook telling us how many of their cigars has appeared on our end of the year lists, excluding this year. And that puts you in the running for this beautiful
one of a kind
Southern Draw ashtray with the little drawer or the 64-ounce drinky thingy. Drinky thingy. This will make a lot more sense when you watch The Irishman. Apparently Jimmy Hoffa talked like Al Pacino in that.
And I'll shove it right up your ass.
Jimmy Hoffa loves 64-ounce drinky thingies.
What do you think of this, you cocksucker?
Sorry. The whole family, I apologize.
They knew what they were getting into.
They knew.
The whole family is ghosts.
They're gone.
Dude, they are gone. Can we have our shit back?
If Robert's going, man, we made the wrong mistake. Hopefully Shannon's sitting there going, no, just ride it out.
Just let them do their thing. I think much like the Desert Rose, a lot of yin and yang with the whole family.
Yes.
So, when we post this episode, you tell us what your favorite Southern Draw cigar is and why in the comments. If you want to win one of these 2 grand prizes, you send us a direct message answering the trivias that we've dropped throughout the show. And I think I've covered all our bases.
All right.
You gave us links to all of our social media.
Social media.
All of our social media.
Right here on the social media app.
Tell them the next time they will be able to what's going on our last show of the year.
Our last show of the year, we are going to go to Roma Craft headquarters in Austin, New Jersey, and
Maryland.
Austin, effing Texas. And
we're not afraid of you, ISIS.
We're going to be hanging out with Skip Martin and Mike Rosales of Roma Craft.
I don't know if Mike will be there.
Don't know if Mike will be there. All right, so we're going to be drinking beer down at Roma Craft, and we're going to be doing The Irishman. So, yeah, if you want to do your little homework, start watching the movie. Well, by this time, who knows? I don't know when you're watching this.
Actually, if you start watching The Irishman
now,
weeks,
you might.
Right now.
You might.
Holy shit, that was a long movie. Anyway, so we're going to be watching the Irishman. You're going to be hearing a hell of a lot of Pacino accents.
Doctor will be there.
It's going to be fucking good.
A good time.
So yeah, we are looking forward to this. This is a great way
It's
to
a good
end.
way.
It's a good way to end.
It's a really good way to end the year. And again, I just cannot in advance apologize enough to the Uber driver who will have to take us home from Roma Craft at 3 a.m. God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're going to get an SUV with a luggage rack. Just for you.
And for Tut to just be prepared to make us snacks when we get back to his place.
It's not going to happen.
There's got to be some snacks.
Can you just pre-order the pizza and leave it out on the counter? So
could the wife order us some Domino's?
You're going to get some Friskies.
Well,
oh, don't act like you haven't eaten the Friskies before.
I'm not saying that we haven't. We're just
last time we were at his house.
Because I'm remembering when we had to eat the Friskies.
Episode 107, I think, was a success. Episode 108, TBD. TBD. Okay, there's gonna be just an inordinate amount of Al Pacino in the next episode. I'm so sorry.
8 hours of Al Pacino.
No, I was apologizing to our microphones. I'm so sorry. But no, it's fun. And you know what? It was Travolta worked his ass off on this thing, and if everybody else is shitting on it, I'm glad maybe one of the few places that gave him a little bit of love for it. He obviously worked his ass off. Let's pat him on the back for it.
Fuck yeah.
You talk about craft and cigars and craft and beer. The guy fucking crafted a memorable character that was in an undeserving film. That's not his fault. He's not a director.
That's very
Agreed.
true.
Agreed.
All right, folks. I'll say this. Whether you're on a Peloton watching us, do you think anybody watches us while Pelotoning?
No.
No, of course
Nobody
not.
does.
But they could start.
Whether you're Pete Davidson, do you think he watches us?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay. Well, whoever you are out there, we appreciate you, and may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Sayonara, motherfuckers. We'll see you next week, and after that, Happy New Year. We'll see you in January.
To learn more about the time I stage dived at a Limp Bizkit concert in Daytona back in the summer of 1999, only to land right on top of an apparently very fragile 18-year-old girl, sending her to the ER with extensive injuries, please research the civil court lawsuit, Angie Rottenbush versus Keith A. Howell. Did my pearly white K-Swiss kick her in the face by random accident? Or did I do it all for the nookie? The nookie. Come on. You can take that cookie and stick it up your... spoiler alert, I lost that particular court case big time. And in the meantime, to learn more about the cigars and other libations enjoyed on tonight's episode, you can visit southerndrawcigars.com and atgbrewery.com. For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'briensimple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.